But until then, here we are. Hey, look, it's us. Here we are.
Hey, hi.
Hello. Hi. How far are you with that, the Mr. Two Dicks, show?
Most of the way through the first season, they still can't seem to decide what kind of show they want to do.
I think you'll find they have, and it's just kind of all over the place because it kind of just stays that way for the next season.
So that's what they wanted. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm entertained. He's amazing in it. It's really strange. They're like trying to make him very sympathetic, but like he, killed the guy and threw him in the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're trying
overly
too
concerned
hard.
with that.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying too hard to make him sympathetic. He's not great.
No, he is very entertaining though.
Yes. Like the Joker.
That he also voices. We did finish Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, he does voice the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He's got a great.
He really does.
Yeah.
And of course, because we were watching that show, not Harley Quinn, the other one, with the 12-year-old. I'm like, he was watching Moana. I'm like, that's the guy from Resident Alien. Hey.
Oh yeah, the Boyd.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Boyd.
very entertained by the bird.
I like I want my bird.
My bird. I want my
Want
bird. That's from your
my
favorite MCU
bird.
movie.
What?
That's from your favorite MCU movie.
Yeah, it's
right?
my favorite one, starring my favorite guy. He's only in it for like 20 seconds, but boy, is it my favorite scene. I really like when Hollywood gives that guy like clout and launders his reputation for him. It's really fun.
Right, that guy.
That guy, yeah. It's a good time.
I think it was
You see
before
Star
that
Trek
guy.
Discovery?
No.
There's a scene, and I think like season 1 of Star Trek Discovery where they're like talking about some of the great scientific minds of history, and they talk about Albert Einstein. They talk about the guy who created the warp drive, and then they bring up Elon Musk, and it's like you don't want to let that breathe for like a few years before you decide that he is like a staple of history.
Sure.
Like I understand in 2010 doing that, because like he was sort of enigmatic. We didn't know who the fuck he was yet. This is before he got all his hair plugs and before he started being super epic bacon. But now that's what the kids are saying. It's epic bacon.
Really?
It's not, I don't know. I have no idea.
Piggy.
Oink, oink, oink. A-cab, though. A-cab. But yeah, for the Star Trek thing, that was like 2017. Like this was Trump's America by then. And I just don't know, man. I've never, I don't know. People seem to like to have like a figurehead to look towards,
Sure.
to be like this one will do it, like some sort of guru style sort of thing. And I've never craved that. My sister's kind of like that. I don't know. I understand like wanting to be a part of a thing and wanting to see the best in people, but
It is strange when you find out certain pieces of information, though. This might relate, it might not. Like when all the everything, regardless of where one falls, the whole thing about kneeling, taking a knee during a certain thing. A very good point was made of all things, a sporting show that I was listening to. It's like, how about we just don't do that part because it's got nothing to do with the game and it's subsidized by the military?
yeah. Like how about that? How about that sort of separation? Like, I mean, but the same people who are like separation of church and state and states' rights and such and yada 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 are the same people who are like, hey, what's your downstairs situation like? Hey, before you go to this bathroom, let me see your jennies, man. Let me see, and then I'll make sure you go to what bathroom. Hey, you want to
see how I feel about it.
Right, exactly. Even though facts don't care about your feelings, but feelings are what dictates a lot of their fucking policy. It's insane. But like pointing out the hypocrisy of these people, that like not since the days of like 2005 Jon Stewart has that really meant anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like now they just realize, yeah, we can say whatever we want, do whatever we want, and it doesn't matter if they contradict each other because people
No.
are so like comfortable that rocking the boat at all, even if it is with it like in their own best interest or like long term wise, will be beneficial to the bottom line of whatever fucking weird, nefarious, demonic project we're doing. It doesn't matter because like that deviates too much from the way things are, and so can't have that. Papa needs a new yacht for his yacht.
You need a yacht.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos got a yacht for his yacht.
I hope you're kidding.
I'm not. It's actually a yacht for his helicopter so that he could fly a helicopter to his yacht. He got an extra yacht so that he could park his helicopter on that in order to get to his super yacht because his super yacht didn't have a helipad on it because it had too much stuff.
I mean, it all makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, no, this is just,
When you lay it out that way, it's
Yeah.
really.
You
I mean,
know,
you're
like-
leaving money on the table if you don't do it.
right. And like, what is he going to not fly his helicopter to his super yacht? He needed to impress his girlfriend because he was one of the most divorced people in the history of the world.
One of the most divorced.
Yeah, yeah. Even though
He's more
he only got
divorced than
divorced once, but
But
somehow
man, oh man.
he is one of the most divorced people. So have you written anything? It seems like you've been on a tear recently, writing stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's ready for playering.
Do you like it though?
I think so. There it is. What you have in there, mister? Is it a liquid of some kind?
It's fizzing water,
I'm also having a fizzing water. What flavor fizzing water are you having?
water flavored.
Ah. So you're saying you bring the flavor, so you don't need flavor.
Yeah, baby. It's flavor. It's flavor country.
Don't worry about it, Jack. It's Flavor Town.
We're gonna check. It's the two flavor towns.
Forget it, Jack. It's Good night, everybody.
I like the bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles are nice.
Oh boy.
Make you feel alive. Are we being joined by a guest this evening?
That's what the title says, but I don't know. He said that he was available. We shall see. If not, then not.
Okay.
I ain't tripping.
Straight
Whoa.
tripping. Whoa.
I tripped.
Ah.
I mean, I'm sitting down. I did the best I could with what I had.
I think you did okay.
Burp. Started watching Girls Faveva.
Did you start it over, or?
I thought about it, but then I felt I remembered enough, and plus, it'll maybe be on Netflix for the foreseeable future because of
Yeah.
the way things keep getting taken off the streamers.
Yeah, trust
for
nothing.
Tax
Trust
write-offs, yeah.
Yeah, all
So we'll see.
that. Yeah.
But no, and like I forgot that they were only 30 minutes or 22 minutes or whatever.
Are they that short?
Yeah, they're like a TV 30 minutes, so.
Yeah, I will say, going Resident Alien, I feel like it would have worked better almost if it had been a half hour.
Yeah. I see what you mean by like it not knowing if it's like a sitcom or like a dramedy sort of thing.
It's kind of a horror comedy thing. Because
Yeah.
there's wacky stuff, but it's also like he was genuinely going to kill that child multiple times.
And like
Spoilers.
tried.
Yeah, hard. Tried real
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also, well, I don't know what you know of the device that he's looking for.
That's a pretty good.
This is bullshit.
Yes, I really did enjoy that. It was weird when they started dropping like the first F-bomb. They
Yeah.
they bleeped it,
Yeah.
And then after that, they're like, I guess I don't want to do that anymore.
Right. And then they do it one more time in the season, and then they
so
don't
weird.
for all of second season. They just give up on that.
I enjoy the sheriff.
He's so great.
He's
Trying
great.
to get everybody to call him Big Black, and no
Yeah.
one will.
And then the cool doctor comes in and
Yeah.
he's like, "How you doing, Big Black?" He's like, "That's what I'm talking about." There's some pretty funny bits in there.
Yeah.
I am entertained. I
yeah.
want to keep watching it.
Good
yeah.
cast. Yeah.
Great
Entertaining
cast.
premise.
And Tudyk, it really is he's like everything he's ever learned, he gets to use in this.
I mean, just the physical comedy acting is he's great. He's so
I
Yeah.
enjoy the uneasy truce he comes to with the child who can see him.
yeah.
I'm entertained by that. But again, it's like that guy was totally going to kill you. But again,
Yeah.
9-year-olds are weird.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. So they got that part right.
Weird kid.
Yeah, weird kid. I enjoy the native stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy the family stuff's interesting. But then it has these weird like after school special-ish kind of endings to it, where he's like doing a
Yeah.
voiceover. It's very Doogie Howser about what he learned.
Scrubs. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Doogie Howser. This is
Scrubs. Yeah. Doogie
age
Howser is the
difference.
Scrubs of the 90s. Yeah. To the 80s.
Yeah. But that's a little strange. I'm like, where?
Didn't the Michael J. Fox one do that too? Family Ties.
Can't remember.
Or
Watched
maybe
it.
Maybe it was Growing Pains.
Watched it religiously when it came out. Family Ties. Growing Pains wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Turns out I had pretty good read on the lead actors in both things.
Kirk Cameron is a hero of mine.
I had no idea.
I don't care for his acting, but his politics right up my alley. It's good stuff.
You're really into them being like super religious firefighters who are going to like do Jesus-y fire stuff. Like the setup of that is very confusing too.
I have no idea what I just.
Well, if you get your Blu-rays out of them, we can just talk about it. You can read off the back.
The Left Behind series.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody else do a version of that too?
Yeah, there was like they made a couple in the mid 2000s or something.
Yeah.
And then
Was
Kirk
Nick
Cameron
Cage in those?
I don't think so. I think they were both made for TV, both sets of Left Behind productions. I just think one was like I don't know. It was like it was before anybody gave a fuck about like made for TV anything. Like, before like HBO would make like a movie,
Yes.
or any real.
Yeah, no, any TV movie was garbage.
Right.
It meant garbage. That's all it meant.
So it was like that. Like it would be on like UPN or WB
Yeah.
at like
Yeah,
3:00 on a Saturday or some shit after
Not wrong.
Xena Warrior Princess. And then in like the later 2000s or 2010s, I think Kirk Cameron did a couple, and then
Yeah, it
and
turns
now
out
he's
he was
world famous. They did
Although
like biggest
he was-
biggest movies of the year.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it is weird if I just go looking for like going to see a movie or something, and at the bottom of the list there will be this vaguely titled thing that'll turn out to be Jeebus related.
Yeah. Oh no, he's the one from he did the he did the early 2000s Left Behind ones. That was him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like they
yeah,
got
and then
somebody-
he keeps doing like these I saw a video on this movie he did, Fireproof.
right.
Yeah.
That's
That's the one you were talking about, the firefighter one.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also have, and Kevin Sorbo does those things too.
Yeah, the
God's not dead.
Mhm.
God's still not dead. No, really, God's not dead.
Disappointed.
Is that what one of them was called?
No, he there's an outtake from a line reading and or maybe they left it in the show because of the rate of production, but for Hercules, which
Yeah.
is what I know him from, which is what everybody fucking knows him from.
Sure.
And he read the stage direction disappointed, but it was in all caps because
Yeah,
you
I'm sure
know,
they had to keep it. That sounds too entertaining. to not
right,
keep.
yeah, and so he just yelled disappointed before he did his line.
His greatest bit of acting.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
Good times, bad times.
I know I've had my share. It's not worth it. It's
Regrets. Had a few.
okay. It's totally not worth it.
What were you playing earlier? Was it the new thing?
No, it was invariably when I sit down to practice something, I get irritated and I start playing something else. So that was just a little fiddly thing that I'd been playing, and then I had like one line. So there's like, less than nothing of it.
You want to
So
play
I
the
ju-
one line?
No. No, I sure don't.
You don't want to show your work before it's done?
Show your work before it's done. No. I'd never understood that. People are like, this is halfway done. I'll play it for you. No! Keep that shit to yourself. Don't play it for me until it's ready.
Yeah, I've never, like, I used to have that inclination to show people stuff I'm working on because I'm excited about it. This is like 15 years ago.
Back when you enjoyed showing things to people.
Exactly. Yeah. And now it's just like, even when some stuff is done, like I have my Atlantis song, which is like a part of the finale for the thing I'm working on, and
Right.
like I've probably played it out like fewer than 10 times. And like people clap, but like clapping is built in, and
They're supposed to.
right, exactly. And like if I do the song right, that doesn't mean that it's like a as good a song as I want it to be. It just means that like I executed it correctly. And so
Yeah, I run into that with songwriting for myself, in that I have the capacity to write a song, but that doesn't mean it's like worth it.
Right.
It doesn't mean like the idea of it is worthwhile. It doesn't mean the music's worthwhile. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that it's there now and it wasn't before.
Right.
And I'm not convinced that's a good enough reason. Certainly right now I'm not convinced that that's a good enough thing. There
Yeah.
are times where I'm like, yeah, the process is useful, but at the moment, no. Yeah.
yeah, I've lucked out because every song I've sat down right, except for this Atlantis one, which I do like. Like I like the parts individually. I just don't know if the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. You know how like that's how a thing should be. It's like the
Yeah.
parts individually are great, but they add up to something greater than they otherwise would standing alone. And so I just don't know. I don't know. They fit together. The melody's nice and everything, and
But does it serve the actual purpose you wanted it to?
I mean, it serves the purpose of like it hits story beats. You know,
Yeah, but is that what you were looking for out of it, or were you looking for something more out of it?
the fact that it's like the first part of like a 4 or 5 part finale really kind of takes some of the pressure off of it.
Are you doing a musical Lord of the Rings?
No. It's just the one ending. Although there is a flashback component or a flash forward.
Does it involve choose your own adventure in any way? And if not, have you considered adding a choose your own adventure element?
No and yes. No, it doesn't. I've considered it.
It's a good consideration.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd do a Bandersnatch album. Did you watch have you seen Black Mirror? Are you a Black Mirror person?
I haven't seen it yet. I keep forgetting it exists. until I talk to somebody and I go, I should go watch Black Mirror. And I just
first
haven't.
first three seasons pretty good.
That's pretty good, though.
And then they're like I think you should like pick and choose from the other seasons what to watch.
I have been watching, and feel free to scoff. I have been watching the Springsteen on Broadway thing on Netflix, and there you go. Feel better?
Yeah,
I
there's
think that's the
something in my
equivalent
throat.
for my age. I think it's the equivalent of people like, I don't know, 15 years older, hitting a certain age, and then suddenly getting really interested in World War II. You know, like Patton Oswalt said, World War II. Yeah. No, I just went, oh, okay. And there's some parts I could do without, and there's some genuinely affecting things. It's kind of how I feel about his discography. You know.
Were you a fan going in?
Nah. Well, whatever level of fan I was a couple of weeks ago, yeah. But not not he's the greatest, and not everything he did is wonderful. But honestly, I don't love everything by anyone, including Queen, and they're my favorite band. You know? Like,
What's
I
your
don't-
least favorite Queen song?
anything off of Hot Space that isn't Under Pressure. That album is a turd, and I love Queen. Terrible, terrible, terrible record. It's just the songs are so bad. Freddie got into disco, which shouldn't have
I was
been a
about to
surprise.
ask, was it a disco thing? And there it is.
It's more of kind of a funk thing, but Queen, it turns out it's like, we can play anything. Not funk, you can't. And I love them. I love them
Yeah.
dearly. I love their later bad records. You know, like their last few records all have songs that I love on there, but the last like really solid record they made was The Game in 1980. And Joylene is asking if I would like any pie.
Would you?
Maybe in a bit.
Tell her I'm good. I don't want any.
And Jules says, "No, thank you." And once again, I am surprised that you're not reacting on this the way you did on the VOM after she was on. The disappointment, or is it implied?
Yeah, I just figured contextually you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made it
That
known.
was the, are you up for this? It's like,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, come on. I know. You take what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to take it. But sometimes when life gives you lemons, you're just like, what do I do with these lemons? I guess I'll just leave these lemons here.
There's just lemons.
Yeah.
The Springsteen thing, I've been enjoying poking my way through, and there's some stuff I like and some stuff I don't. And there's like the big album, well, the first big album was Born to Run. There's like too much shit surrounds Born in the USA to even really talk about it.
Like
know.
people who didn't get it.
In so many ways, the crazy 80s production, because that's when I became aware of him in real time when those things hit, and I couldn't stand it. You know, and I was too young for it, but couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
But like there's songs on Born in the Run. Born in the Run.
Born in the Run essay.
Born in the Sturner Farm. On that record, that really affected me. Like Backstreets is pretty amazing because
Yeah, I love the Backstreet Boys. It's the first concert I ever went to.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
7, 6?
31.
Yeah, this is last year. Yeah, Britney Spears opened for him. Yeah, so technically the first person I ever saw in concert was Britney Spears.
I mean, it
There are worse things to say.
makes sense. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Oh, baby, baby.
Yeah, now I do one of her songs. Yeah,
Which one do you do?
that one.
Those singles, those Max Martin singles, are no fucking joke. Like,
Yeah, man.
that
I
is-
mean, he was running like the 3 biggest acts in the world for
He
like
still has
3
hits.
years.
he still has hits. He's
Yeah.
still every
Him
few
and
years. Linda Perry.
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin's not a songwriter though.
Yeah, but he's a producer, and
Yeah.
that's what Max Martin was really doing, because Max Martin was writing, but he was also there were also 15 other people in the room.
Did he share credit on those?
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure those were the artists themselves would have credits on songwriting credits, I think, just because if they do a vocal run or something like that. Damn, he's only 53. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, he's a young guy because he's been. And have you seen him?
I'm looking at him right now. He looks kind of like American Tim Minchin, but he's Swedish.
Yeah, but he's got. I did not expect him to look like that. I expect him to look like Phineas.
Just like an elvish sort of.
That hair color and everything. That's what Swedish seems to be. But then I forgot about the whole death metal thing there. They're way into death metal in Sweden.
Yeah.
And he looks like a metal guy.
Yeah, he's still fucking.
Yeah.
He's had more stuff in the past 15 years than he had in the previous 15 years. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's a monster. He writes hooks like a motherfucker. And Bang Bang, do you know that one?
That's Ariana Grande. Yeah, a lot of his stuff is with her and Taylor Swift.
Although that one is it's her and it's Jessie J, who I guess hasn't really hit as big over here.
She's big in the ook.
Yeah, in the others.
The Commonwealth.
And that song is just hookier than a tackle box. It's got so many things going on in it. It's it is on my favorites, when we go out and want loud things in the car. That's one of the songs.
Yeah, you are yeah, no, it's just Max Martin that did Baby One More Time. And he did one NSYNC thing, and then I guess what's his name? The other guy who was the big producer for those guys was the other writer. Anyway, you are much more your fingers on the pulse more of contemporary music than it is of mine. I don't go out of my way to what Dua Lipa sounds like.
I do in part because there was it took me a while to actually hear her music other than on things. I wouldn't say I'm overly aware of current pop music. I have specific people that I like, but
you've heard that Bang Bang song. I've heard it as a reference on Comedy Bang Bang when Ben Schwartz and Scott Aukerman would do "Aw, bang bang into your mouth. Everybody wants to listen to Scott. Everybody wants to." That's all I know. Never heard it.
Dare I say, it's a banger.
She can fucking sing.
Ariana Grande?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I don't really care for her as a human being. She seems kind of like a chore of a person. But child star, what are you gonna do? When she licked that fucking donut, I'm just that is who you are, isn't it? That's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then dating Pete Davidson, they're just come on.
That's confusing too.
I'll never get it. And women have tried to tell me, you just don't get it, and it's yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, God, I totally don't get it.
The women I know share your view. I don't get it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
But I know adult women. You might be talking to people in their 20s.
No, I don't talk to people. I make it a point not to do that.
It's for the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff. Well, the reason I found out about Dua Lipa was just some random flipping through it. It's oh, she's pretty. And they were showing her doing some dancing thing. And then I heard the track. It's that's okay. And then Pitchfork, reviewed the big hit record from a year or two ago. And they're and they referenced Kylie Minogue, in the pull quote.
Kylie.
Yeah. And I love her.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because she won a Grammy for an okay song that she just did. It was a worldwide, including American, dance sensation, and it's fine.
A recent
Yeah,
song?
Padam Padam.
Had she won anything before that?
In America?
Yeah, like a Grammy.
I don't even know.
So then maybe it's like a lifetime thing, like how
No, well, that's it. Yeah, you mean like the Sean Connery for the Untouchables, kind
right,
of
or
thing?
like Denzel for Training
Yeah,
Day, which like
which is not a good movie.
it's yeah, I mean it's like it's an
No.
okay performance, but like Malcolm X and the Hurricane
Yeah,
and that shit like that he was
yeah, he was good at.
yeah.
Yeah, better, definitely better
Although I
in other
think that
better.
Christopher Nolan, even though he's like produced a lot of great films, I think this is the first time he's kind of like deserved the Oscar for Best Director. I haven't seen all those other movies that were nominated, but holy shit, man, Oppenheimer's so fucking good.
Still haven't seen it.
It's
'Cause I
really good.
haven't
It's
been able
really
to.
long.
I want to see it, but yeah, it's a long. It's like when am I going to start it? Like
I
I'd
know.
probably.
It's a two. It's
Yeah.
a two sitting thing. So like
There was some random post. It's like I really appreciate with Oppenheimer how they have it cut into 3 very distinctive parts.
yeah.
That was not your experience.
Oh, I think I just watched the whole thing. If I took a break, it was like to go get food or make food or something.
I
But
gotcha. It is weird going back one subject though, and then we can talk Oppenheimer, which I haven't seen, which will make it more fun.
spoiler alert,
It is weird.
it's the bomb.
The bomb diggity. It is weird because occasionally something modern will come into my awareness, but to hear the elder child speak, everything I listen to is 100 years old. And granted, I do listen to some music from 1924, but currently it's a lot of 70s stuff, which to him may as well be 100 years ago. But
I
like I don't
mean-
even. Yeah.
It's what is that? 50
Yeah, 50 something years ago.
50
Well, they
odd years, yeah.
yeah, cuz they say like most people just go back to listening to what they listened to in high school. But I'm listening to stuff that was like a hit when I was 2. Like
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
Hey man, I just started getting into like Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits like last year.
Hey.
Yeah.
I have a vague recollection of trying to recommend that to you and you weren't interested.
No, I probably said like I didn't know where to start because they
Yeah.
have like such a deep
Making
back
movies.
catalog.
Yeah, making movies.
Well, what I did was I just bought their best stuff.
It's a good collection.
It's
But
got
then
like
you
30
get
tracks, yeah. And then I get
Oh,
like some
okay.
of his solo stuff, which I like more than I like the Dire Straits stuff. I
It's
like
a
the Dire
very
Straits
different
stuff, but it's a
feel.
very
Yeah.
and it's like more guitar centric. And like the fucking the the one he has about McDonald's, the Ray Kroc song, Boom Like That.
I don't think I know that one.
It's great.
He did a Notting Hillbillies, which is a really weird side project of his. They had like a minor hit with "You'll Go Your Own Sweet Way," which isn't bad, but it's very mellow. It's very Busman's Holiday kind of record. He obviously like found a bunch of friends who hadn't done much and like, let's go do this thing, and they recorded it, and it's fine. And he did a record with Chet Atkins. It's pretty good. It was nice of Chet to let him on there. And well, Chet Atkins is one of those guys who broke the code. Hell
I
of a player.
don't know that I know any of his stuff.
He-
I know
he
he's a
was-
guitar.
Yes, that's true. That he was.
He's a Gretsch.
CGP. Yeah, certified guitar player. That was the thing toward the end of his life. But he was like a country producer, like a really successful one, and he'd make these weird experimental records, like in the '60s, just and they're great, but it's all instrumental. He was just kind of quirky, interesting. I don't have any specific stuff to point you toward, but the Knopfler thing. Did you hear any of the record he did with Emmylou Harris?
One of those songs is on
This Is Us.
there. Maybe. Hold on. Let me just bring it up. It's in my iTunes, love.
That's still a
Hold
thing.
on. Yeah. Ugh. Yes, it is.
That's a great song.
Yes, it is.
Um,
No, it's not.
no, I thought you were agreeing. This Is Us was on there.
What it is? No, it's not.
Oh, that's too bad. You should check it out. It's quite good.
Yeah, no.
It's quite good. I like his solo stuff too, but I haven't spent much time with it. The Dire Straits stuff, honestly, the only record that I ever loved by them is Making Movies. That's a wonderful record. The first one I haven't really listened to. Actually, that and like the unbelievably huge one, Brothers in Arms. Yeah, were the ones that I knew. But Making Movies I had on like cassette from when I worked in a record store. So.
Yeah. I I don't know. I don't know how I come across new music. It's very osmosic.
Osmondius.
Ozyman. It's very Ozymandias. Look upon my
teleported-
works, ye mighty, and despair.
Teleport a giant space monster and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, squid. Just a big old squid. And then the little baby squids from the show.
Little baby squids.
Haven't gone back and watched it. I'm kind of scared to.
Worried you'll feel sympathetic for the police.
No, I'm. Oh, they're coming. No, the opposite. I'm worried I won't be able to connect with it because of like the way police are portrayed in that show, and because like it came out in 2019 before I was woke. But like, you know, all the like I Chris, I don't know if you know this because of my bisexual lighting, but I am a black.
You are. Is that how you want to be referred to?
Yeah, a black. You know, blacks love me. Don't you love when people like just say that
What?
sort of shit?
Who said that?
A lot of white politicians. It's like, oh boy, here's your sign. But no, I've known police brutality has been a thing, and systemic, for quite a while. But like, you know, obviously 2020 was just like very mask off. Just like, you know, so let me get this straight. Your response to a protest about police brutality is more police brutality. And then in response to that, the government, puts Black Lives Matter stickers on shit and puts their yard signs up, and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer wear kente cloth and kneel in the Capitol Rotunda, which is one of the most fucking embarrassing things. And then, you know, you turn around the next year and you give the police a bigger budget than they've had in the past like 20 years. So
Sure.
yeah, so it's just like, so all of that context has made me kind of scared to go watch the Watchmen. Hey, police are superheroes now show. But I remember liking it a lot, and I liked
I liked it a lot too.
I liked the Vietnam stuff.
There were a
and
lot
all
of
the-
good things about
all
it.
the Dr. Manhattan stuff.
Yeah, the endy bit I didn't love as much, but
They like the ambiguous ending.
and the egg thing and
Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah.
that was just kind of dumb.
Did you
I
like
mean, it's
how
fine.
she bashed his head open with a hammer?
I did enjoy that.
It was fucking insane.
when they go hard in
When
the
they go
paint
in, they
on
go
something
in,
like
yeah.
that, like fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like getting used to the tone on Harley Quinn. Like I actually
Yeah.
thought it turned out to be like a good television show. I'm like,
And it's very sweet.
it is oddly sweet, and
Yeah.
I'm like, we're in the like toward the end of the second season, beginning of the third. I'm like, are they doing character development?
Right.
Like things are changing. You know, it wasn't just staying. And I think maybe the funniest thing to me in the entire show, and there was a lot of like laugh out loud things, other than anything Ron Funches did the entire time. That was the funniest thing. But outside of that, you put that aside and how much I love Funches, when the Joker became mayor and all of his policies were correct.
Yeah, he just like he was Comrade Joker. It was fucking
It
insane.
totally was. It was so fucking great.
It was wild. It's like, let's tax the fuck out of Bruce Wayne and lock him up. I'm
It's
just
so
like,
great.
yeah, it's great. And like,
It was-
doesn't even fucking out him as Batman. Knows he's Batman since
Sure.
season 1. Doesn't
Sure.
give a fuck.
I didn't want to know that.
He fucking kills the Scarecrow.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Why'd you do that? If I wanted to know who he was, I'd find out who he was.
Him as Clayface also is just I am acting.
Yeah,
And then
the
then he
way
fucking kills James Gunn and becomes James Gunn.
that was funny. No, or did he become Billy Bob Thornton?
Maybe he just became James Gunn at some point, but he did become Billy Bob Thornton too.
He killed Billy Bob Thornton, and then
That
he
was
became
right.
him.
Yeah.
And then he like couldn't take it that people like they loved his performance, and he couldn't let it go.
Right.
That people didn't know it was him. And then him getting the whole weird like Vegas thing,
Yeah.
I was very entertained. And them getting Giancarlo Esposito to say all of those things.
Yeah. And
Just
he's good.
all of
He's a
those
good Lex Luthor. I mean, he's been
He's good at everything.
He's been typecast like Christoph Waltz style as like, he's whatever the equivalent of a smiling German nefarious man is. But
and he's great in Jet as well. That show you won't watch.
well, I it's not that I won't watch it. I will watch it. I just won't get Max until, I deem it fit
Until
to
such
pay.
time as you see it necessary.
Yeah.
I understand. He is, but he plays like a crime lord in that. And
What?
fucking great. I know. He's fucking great though. He's just so good. The 14-year-old keeps telling me I need to watch.
You do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's
And
it's one of the best television shows just ever. Yeah.
I'll have to get there. It's been a I found Harley Quinn once I got into it. I actually, again, very sweet, and I more like laughed at the ultraviolence as opposed to just being irritated or nauseated or at the 'cause it's so cartoony.
Right.
But I was very entertained by that. And fucking what's her name? Kaylee Cuoco?
Yeah, she's so good.
So good. And Lake
Yeah.
Bell, so good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Lake Bell. I want to say she wrote and directed a movie maybe 10 years ago, something like that, about voiceover stuff. She's in it. She was great in that.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but that one.
That one. It's the cover is her with headphones on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. She's very good in that. And I believe she's dating Chris Rock now.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
allowed.
Famous people be famousin', so.
Yeah, it's that's the people are like, how could that person date that person? It's like they met at work.
Yeah. I mean,
Like that one's just a little odder, for her like meeting a comedian. Like she may have had to.
Yeah, but like I know Lake Bell through like the Nerdist podcast and going on like Comedy Bang Bang and stuff. So like she's
Really?
yeah, so like she knows people in the
Okay.
and like the
I know
improv
her-
and
Okay, so she's like adjacent,
yeah, she's adjacent Mantzoukas, yeah.
kind of like John Hamm.
Yeah, yeah. Also adjacent Mantzoukas.
There were like random pictures from the Oscars or something. I didn't even mean to see them, but I did, and it was a bunch of different people like in tuxedos. And there's a picture. There's like person, fucking John Hamm, like blowing out the candle on a cupcake, and his hair is swept back, which I had never seen before.
And
It's
he's
like
going gray.
perfectly. He's going gray perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very handsome.
very handsome and funny and charming.
Yep. Yep.
Does
And
he act
went
anymore?
on Bill Maher's podcast and then
I know.
said some stuff.
I fucking know.
Yeah.
That is so, because there will be people on there. That was an interesting conversation with the girl because she wasn't aware of she thinks he's what he was 20 years ago. and not what he's shown himself to be in the last 20 years.
Who? Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's like, to call him a libertarian would be too. That would be too nice to him.
Yeah, and he's also gone crazy old man. And
Yeah, no, I mean
just,
it's the money poisoning thing.
and she's like, yeah, but he'd do this and he'd do that. It's like he doesn't do that anymore.
and it's crazy because of like his like anti-Islam stuff. Like he's like did that whole religious thing, and he's like he was a militant atheist, but like mostly when people are like atheists, like their punching bag is the religion that is the majority religion in their country. So like Tim Minchin or Ricky Gervais or
Some of the most insufferable people in entertainment.
just look, Tim Minchin I think is one of the most talented fucking
He's
people.
really talented.
It's
but
just like that section of his act I just avoid. Like I didn't listen to his new album because it's just like half of it is fucking that. And it's like it's not 2006, dude. Come on, we get it.
It's weird because there are people around that area of comedy where it could be fine, or it could be I'm not listening to this anymore. Yeah. One of the people, and he actually seems like an all right, if sometimes misguided person. Bert Kreischer was just in Erie. Yeah. And I had friends who went, and I'm like, I probably would have gone to that back when I went to things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, I know where it was, I know. But I am curious who he had with him, because he was one of the people who had Taylor Tomlinson open for him. It was really helpful. It was kind of like a father figure. And it was funny to hear them on a podcast together, because he's like, yeah, your eldest daughter kind of looks like me and you don't like that. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's weird. Yeah, but they like know each other. He knows the whole family. So her show is a delight, by the way. If you haven't watched
The
it,
After Midnight show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but Funches returns triumphant. He comes out in a yellow suit with like a WWF belt over his shoulder.
He's a
and I'm like,
wrestling guy,
fucking
yeah.
can't fucking wait. Well, because he was the champion on the old one.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that show might have been a little bit before your time.
What,
Just
at
like a little bit.
midnight?
Yeah, wasn't it a little bit before you
How
were
would
paying
it be
attention to those
before my
things?
time?
I don't know. Maybe I misspoke or was trying to give a reason as to why you didn't understand what I was saying.
Well, because I didn't watch it all the time, and so I didn't know who was champion.
You watched
I know
it all the
Ron
time?
Funches is a like a wrestling guy.
Okay.
So
No, he was the guy who was a champ on it anyway.
yeah. No, of course I knew the show. That's how I knew. That's why I was happy to hear that Chris Hardwick wasn't back hosting it, because I got
Right.
I had Hardwick fatigue by like the second year of At Midnight, which is why I stopped watching it.
Yeah, when all the weird stuff came out, where
Yeah, I was already kind of off board by that point.
that it's what kind of did it for me, I have to admit. And it's not, and honestly, the things that were said aren't good, but they're on the continuum. He sounded like a pretty shitty boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he just seemed like a lot, and I just that like positive, smiley
Toxic
shell,
positivity.
kind of a little bit. That veneer would crack sometimes when he would do like the hostful episodes with Jonah and Matt, because Jonah and Matt were so much fucking funnier than him.
Well, certainly Jonah was. I don't know how I felt about
Matt
that.
was not as funny when like they started. Maybe like the first 50 episodes.
Well,
but then,
wasn't even a professional.
No, he was
yet.
he was a guy from the Genius Bar.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then
Didn't he end up being a writer, like a comedy writer for different things?
Yeah. I mean, and then he ended up getting like a show. Like he ended up getting like a couple shows, and then he did my favorite thing he's done is James Bonding with Matt Gorley.
Which I was aware of. I also didn't make it to his Frasier thing with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And I do love
Talk,
Kevin Smith.
salad, and scrambled eggs.
That's the one. And I really did like Frasier back in the day, too.
Yeah.
The rare
Talk about
spin-off.
someone who,
Yeah.
over the past 20 years, has
Didn't have to know. Didn't have to know
didn't
that
need
shit.
to know this about you guys.
It
But
was
hey,
so
man,
nice.
when someone shows you their whole ass, you just got to be like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
That's your butt.
That is an even better way of putting it than when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody, if look, man, like they show you their whole ass. Like Elon
Entire.
Musk. Elon Musk has been showing he's been showing whole for like the past year and a half. Since he bought Twitter, he's just been like, hey, I'm bad at business.
Hey, everybody.
I have the thinnest skin in the world, and I bought a criticism factory. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb guy.
A criticism factory. That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
That was somebody had something about it. It's like he bought Twitter and he tries to clap back, but he's not funny.
He's not funny. Ugh. Like you need some empathy,
Self-awareness.
and self-awareness and a shared experience. To that's why comedy works. Like that's why I don't think Dave Chappelle's fucking funny anymore. Because
No.
he's insulated himself from reality, and he still thinks he's the fucking underdog. He still
But
acts
he
like
also
he's the
thinks
fucking
he's one of
victim.
the greatest. He also thinks he's one of the greatest.
Some
of all
people might
time.
say, I'm the GOAT. Then he brings fucking Elon Musk out, and people boo. And it's like, hold on. You hear all those people booing? That's why you're in the cheap seats. Cool, dude. People who fucking paid to see you make fun of them. That's good, man. That's how you retain an audience. I don't know.
That's
when I
that's
berate
some-
people who came here to see me, I get more and more people coming back personally.
That's high quality heel work right there.
Yeah. I don't think it's kayfabe though.
No.
No. Kanye is someone who played that shit quite well until he came out as a Nazi.
Yeah, although now he's recanting all of that, kind of.
I don't think you can pull up from.
But
I
like
like
sen-
Hitler. I think Hitler was cool.
Hey, can we get a pull? Can we just get a pull of that audio for you?
Oh, now I don't know if you mean like some of the technology and the stuff implemented by the Nazi. Even though we disavow them. Nah, man, I think Hitler was a good guy. When Alex Jones is trying to talk you down, when the frogs
Dude,
are
dude.
gay guy,
Yeah.
I mean.
Dude, whoa.
Hey, look, I said that dead children were crisis actors, but, like, you've got to tone it the fuck down, dude. Yeah.
Do you know I took a little bit of a break from not all podcasts, but just kind of pumped the brakes a little bit, and now I'm like listening to a couple of audiobooks. Because it wasn't like my mind wasn't being changed, but the consistency with which, no matter who they're talking to or what they're talking about or what the subject is, where it'll either get to cancel culture or let's talk about trans people some more, how quickly that happens. Like, you could set your fucking watch by it. And I'm like, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm listening to this. You want to go into like deep weird. I'm listening to the lead singer from the band Status Quo. Who? That's right, because they never hit here. They're a band that just never hit in America. Just didn't work out.
Are they Brits?
Yes. And they are like a legendary English band that had some, if you look them up, they had some crazy run of top 10 hits, like 30 or something. Like, they really had a lot, and they still play. There's only one original guy who still plays, but he's the lead singer, this guy, Francis Rossi. And he's in his 70s, and they still play. And they're one of those bands, you know how like AC/DC, it's like every album's the same. It's not true. But Status Quo, even more so. Like their stuff. Hello? I have a visitor.
No, you don't.
I don't? No. I don't have a visitor.
You have pie.
Oh, she's in her pajamas.
Hi, Joylene. Happy Pie Day.
He said He said hello. How's Happy Pie Day? Bye.
You get it?
Thank
Pie
you.
Day.
Pie. She made a black spaghetti pie.
Oh, Black Spetty, Lambs, Lambs.
That's exactly what I did. Whoa, Black Spaghetti. Have you heard the remake of that?
No. Is it by Gus Van Sant?
No. I think that's
It's a
funny,
psycho.
though.
That's a
I
psycho
know.
reference.
Oh, that's
Thank
a
you.
psycho reference right there, mister. Yeah, but Status Quo, if you look up their numbers, it's crazy. But they never hit here, and I got on a kick with them. And I'm listening to the audiobook of the lead singer's book.
Who reads it?
Not him. And I was really pissed off because it said he was one of the readers, and he's not. But once I got past that, I'm pretty entertained by the book. But the other one I have put aside is, the next one is Maria Bamford's book. Sure, I'll join your cult.
She is one of the funniest people on the planet.
I love her very much.
I
Do you
mean,
have
like-
the... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Do you have the Amazon Prime? You do, yes?
Yeah.
The Prime Video?
Yeah.
Her most recent special is now available on it.
Is it for her parents again?
No, this is called Local Act. It's some, like, little theater she took over near her house. And
So her parents are probably there.
her parents have passed.
Both of them?
Yeah, fairly recently.
Jesus, fuck.
Yeah. That's not fun. I don't recommend it. I do kind of want to eat some pie, though.
Yeah,
Wanna
so
a
I'll
song?
play a song. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Butt.
Oh, boy. That's Mr. Oh, never mind.
Thank you, Mr. Butt.
Yes, yes. Hello, I'm Mr. Butt, your substitute teacher for today. And I will be teaching you how to get down with your butt self. Okay.
Thank
How
you,
long-
Mr. Butt.
Okay. How long you want this to be? Like Bohemian Rhapsody or a punk song or somewhere in between?
This pie is quite good.
Okay. Thanks. Chris Eric, everybody.
How long of a song do you feel like playing?
I don't know, but stop chewing in
when
the
you-
microphone.
When do you think you'll know?
Yeah. I'm just gonna do this. All right. Sure. Some people long for a life that is simple and planned, tied with a ribbon. Some people won't sail the sea 'cause they're safer on land. To follow what's written, but I follow you to the great unknown. Off to a world we call our own. Hand in my hand, and we promise to never let go. Walking the tightrope, high in the sky, we can see the whole world down below. Walking the tightrope, never sure, never know how far we could fall. Well, it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking the tightrope with you. you. Hand in my hand, and we promise to never let go. Walking the tightrope, high in the sky, we can see the whole world down below. Walking the tightrope, never sure. Will you catch me if I should fall? Well, it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking the tightrope with you.
Thank you, Mr. Butt.
Okay. I
like
haven't
that
seen
one.
that movie. It's from The Greatest Showman. Which, was he?
No, he's a monster.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was okay. I mean, Hugh Jackman is always.
Yeah,
Hugh
he's
Jackman,
great.
so.
And Zendaya was there. And Zac Efron.
He was good.
He's good and stuff.
He's
I'm
good
gonna-
at things.
I'm gonna watch that Amazon movie that he did with
did
John
Amaz-
Cena,
Oh, right. And
Yeah. Ricky Sticky Ricky.
that one,
Yeah,
Stickety Flickety.
Slick Rick.
Stick it and flick it.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than hit it and quit it, you have to admit.
Yeah. I think Grip It and Rip It is probably. But maybe Ribbit and Rip It, like the She-Hulk
Fucker?
episode.
Frog fucker.
I don't know about that, dude.
Hey, if you can't handle it, man.
If you can't handle me at my frog fucker, you can't handle me at my
Those were pretty funny.
squarespace.com. Oh, you weren't muted.
Liar. I had pie. It was very tasty.
That's good.
It was good. It's definitely helping with my energy.
That's good. Do you like there's been a lot of pie in Resident Alien. Because they at that diner.
They're at that diner a lot.
Yeah.
I don't recall a lot of pie so far.
He's usually eating pie. Yeah, if he's there.
Interesting.
Mr. Two Dicks. He's got two of them. He's
Two?
saying, I am an alien.
Are you sure that's not King Shark? And then he goes, ha ha ha.
This is bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I find it charming. If a bit uneven. It is a sci-fi show, so
Yeah, is that their thing? Kind of uneven.
a little bit. Yeah. Typically, I don't know. They're probably their most consistent show was like Battlestar, and that was all over the place.
That's like not fair, though. That was a hell of a show.
Yeah, and the guy who did that, Roland Moore. Ronald?
I think Ron Moore. I think
Yeah.
it was just Ron.
Ronald DeMore. He's doing a show on Apple called For All Mankind with Rick Flag in it.
Rick Flag?
Yeah, from Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad. Joel Kinnaman.
Kinnaman.
Yeah, it's about an alternate history where the Russians beat the Americans to the moon.
It's like the weird fucking Harry Turtledove books.
I don't know what that is, but kind of,
Those
probably.
are the books, the alternative history things.
then
Yeah.
it's just like that.
Yeah. No, that was a big thing at one point.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Is it? That's
Yeah,
good.
I think it's quite good, and like, like they do Cold War shit, and it plays out quite differently than it did in our, like the space race.
Yeah.
The space race meant something until we got to the moon, and then we won, even though the Russians did everything else first.
Yeah.
But that's that's American exceptionalism. It's like we have the one thing to point to, so we've won now. So and now the game's over. Last person to get a point wins, and we got a point, and now we've declared the game is over.
We're the reason the term recency bias was coined.
Yeah, there's so many different flavors of bias that America has.
But I did enjoy Battlestar very much. And yes, you're right. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
There are things about it, of course, like anything else. That's where I became aware of Bear McCreary, the guy who did the
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
He's like he did the music for The Walking Dead too, which
Yeah?
is like one of the better things about The Walking Dead was the music.
I made it to the first episode of the second season.
You're good. It doesn't get past the heights of the first season. First season is like the best.
Kind of like Prison Break. Did you ever watch Prison
Yeah,
Break?
I did. Yeah.
That first season's
It's
fucking
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah, it made me
and then they kept
try
making
to
it.
watch more, and then it's like,
Yeah.
let's put him back in a prison.
I watched up until the part of the last season, and I didn't watch like the remake thing, or not the remake. They kept it going.
Yeah, legacy sequel. No, the best.
Legacy sequel.
The best thing that those two have been in was this season of Legends of Tomorrow that they were on together.
I heard great things once they kind of got it down.
So it sucks because the show got good in like the second season
Yeah. I
after
was
they
already
killed
out by
off the
then.
Hawk people. Yeah, but then he dies at the end of the first season.
Yeah. And then they bring back like an alternative version of him.
They do, and it's a very. I cried. That show is. It was the best Doctor Who, while like for Moffat's last couple seasons and for Chibnall's 2 seasons, it was the best Doctor Who on television.
I love the guy who played. He played the brother who was in jail initially on Prison Break. Big
Yeah,
buff guy.
Dominic Purcell.
I thought he was great and kind of soulful in that.
Yeah.
In Prison Break, where he kind of
Yeah.
had accepted his fate.
Yeah.
I enjoy him, and I thought he was really funny in Legends of Tomorrow.
He's great, and since I think it's kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy sort of thing too, where like
Yeah.
no one was really paying attention to that section of it. Like they were paying attention to Arrow because that was the
Yeah.
longest running one, and the Flash because that's the big crossover one, and the time travel-y, the Supergirl thing because like there's actually a Superman and he's good,
But kind
Like-
of short.
but kind of short, but like still the best live action Superman. Christopher Reeve is great. I think maybe he's like the best like portrayal of it, and everybody's like chasing that. But like the Supermaning that happens in the Superman and Lois show
Yeah.
is some of the best Supermaning that happens.
Now, a couple of questions. One, I hadn't heard very good things about it. That's not the case?
The Superman and Lois show,
Yeah.
the first season is incredible.
Second, I heard they had a novel take on Lex Luthor.
I'm pretty sure Lex Luthor is John Cryer.
No, that's
Yeah.
from something else.
No?
There's a version. Remember, he's from like different. There's like a bald guy with a beard who's not like a business, like a businessman type.
I don't know. Maybe that's the latest season.
I feel like John Cryer was
John Cryer was
something
Lex
else
Luthor
with it.
in Supergirl, and he did a fucking great job. And the Superman in Superman and Lois is the Superman from Supergirl.
Yeah, that I know.
So that's the same universe. So his Lex is John Cryer. Lex Luthor didn't show up. John Henry Irons shows up. Steel,
That's
not
interesting.
not as played by Shaquille O'Neal or Shaquille O'Steal. You see what I did there?
It was great.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm proud of me.
No. If you look up Superman and Lois and Lex Luthor, there is a guy who is not him, who is not John Cryer.
Okay.
Let's see, he's played by. Oh, this really isn't helpful. God damn it. Is it Michael Cudlitz?
From the aforementioned The Walking Dead.
I guess. But if you look it up, if you usual all of that, he does come up.
All right. Mr. Cuddles.
Yeah, I don't know what the specifics are there.
He's also in Invincible, which is back.
I haven't watched it yet. How's it?
It's still good. Yeah, he's Lex Luthor in the new season. Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Well, I've only seen the first two.
Yeah, buddy.
I apologize.
So that was my impression. How did I do? Yeah, pal.
Of
you.
Of Jason
Of you.
Mantzoukas.
No, of you.
Yeah, I'm doing a Jason Mantzoukas when I'm like, yeah, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy. Yeah, dummy.
I'm wondering if I should go back and rewatch the show they did about fantasy football, the league.
Probably not.
No?
Yeah, maybe just let that live in your memory.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
Oh, okay. I think there's like funnier comedies like that. Like I think that was like riding the tails of like Always Sunny, raunchy comedy, sort of rude, lewd, crude
I was
stuff.
very entertained by it.
Oh, me too. I liked it. I just like I have a sneaking suspicion that it may not hold up as well on a rewatch. Plus, every time I watch it, now I think of how Steve Ranazizi was like,
Big
"Yeah,
Liarhead.
stop 9/11." I love that kind of guy. That's a guy. That's like a breed of guy who's just like a, oh yeah, me and my bros, yeah, we would have stopped them. Box cutters, fucking get the fuck out of here. We would have stopped them.
No, I thought his thing was that he lied and said he was there.
Oh, he said he was maybe like, I don't know, man.
I'm not looking it up. I'm not that
It's
worried
like
about
it's
it.
like the Brian Williams saying that he was like his plane was like shot at
Right.
by
and it wasn't. It totally fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
question. Going back, so you haven't watched the show. Do they switch Lex Luthor's at some point, or what's the fucking deal?
Lex doesn't show up in the first two seasons.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And it's very strange. So I don't know if like the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, because Lex was involved with that.
then I remember
And I think he gets
watching-
like burned
yeah.
out of existence at the end of it, or something like that.
I remember watching on YouTube, just watching like the crossover bits, like when Tom Welling showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And
very
punches
interesting.
John Cryer in the face. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always good. Always punch Lex
Yeah,
Luthor
I
in
think
the
John
face.
Cryer did a great job.
I'm not surprised by that. I saw the version of Company with Neil Patrick Harris. He plays. Do you know the show at all? I can't remember.
I've been seeing ads for it because it's at the Kennedy Center.
I mean, all the Sondheim stuff can be a little.
There's a lot of, I don't know, all the Sondheim stuff I know of. There's like at least one or two pretty fucking great songs in every show.
Almost every show has. Yeah, because we talked about this. Almost every show has one or two or three devastating songs. That one, actually, The Ladies Who Lunch is a pretty great song, that one. Oh, I sent you the links. For the Neil Patrick Harris version, John Cryer's great in that. And then there's the Raul Esparza. What the fuck? Is it Esparza?
I mean, that's a person.
Singer? I can see him in my head. I sent you these links. I guess you didn't watch them. You might have enjoyed them.
Fake news. Not
What's to be done?
Raul Julia.
Not Raul Julia.
Yeah, Raul Esparza's a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's very handsome.
Very handsome. And he's in, yeah, because we talked about this. He's in the version where the cast members are the band. So they all play instruments. Except
Yes.
they're both worth watching.
Well, you should have sent me a link.
I totally sent you a link.
No.
The Neil Patrick Harris one is so much fun. Like Stephen Colbert has a part in it. Christina Hendricks is in it, and she's great.
You seen that Mad Men?
I have seen that Mad Men.
I've seen like all but like the last like 4 episodes. It's ridiculous.
I don't know that you have to watch the last 4.
Yeah. Like
it
the
wasn't
the first like 4 seasons are so very good.
Yeah. No,
And it
no
doesn't like
argument.
get bad. It's just like
It's a lot.
it's
you
a
know?
lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, because we've talked about how like Peggy's the main character. Like
Yeah,
she's
it's her show.
She's
her
the
show.
audience surrogate. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also just flat out her show.
Yeah, she's the first person you see.
Oh, that's funny.
Think so.
It isn't Flo in that? Isn't she one of the operators?
Progressive flow.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. They had a lot of like Alison Breeze in that, like as a named character.
Yes.
She's
And she's doing
what's his name's wife?
Yeah, Pete.
Pete Cosgrove.
And I thought it was really funny that they had
No,
as
that's
the
Ken
show went on-
Cosgrove. Pete. What's Pete's last name?
Pete. Can't remember.
I'll look it up.
But I thought it was really funny that they had his hairline recede as the show went on. And I'm pretty sure that actor, at least then, had a full head of hair, which means they had to shave his hair back.
Like in what's it called? In Iron Man, you know the little guy who shows back up in the second Spider-Man movie, with the not Electro, the fishbowl head. It's that guy. Mysterio. The Mysterio one, where he's got like the VFX team, and then like they do like a flashback to how Tony Stark fucked all these people over.
Right.
And he's the guy who Jeff Bridges yells at like, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
That was a hell of a flashback too.
Yeah, it was great. And then it had you, or at least it had me going like, oh wow, do they have a lot of other people from other movies? No. It's just him.
All
Anyway,
you get.
he still has a full head of hair, like now, but in 2008 they had him like shave it to do the
Which guy are we talking about?
the kid from A Christmas Story.
Ralphie?
Yeah,
Peter
He's-
Billingsley.
Peter Billingsley. Yes, correct. You are correct, sir.
Right.
Yeah, he's the guy that Jeff Bridges yells at, and then comes back as like the one of the VFX guys in
Right.
the best MCU Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Yep. Get out of here, everybody.
I guess-
Get out.
I guess we're not getting any Telly
Pete
tonight.
Campbell.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
And her doing, I don't think she was, at first she was doing her Annie voice from Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she pitched her voice up a little bit.
Right, yeah.
And then after she found out he was cheating, suddenly her voice got a lot lower.
Yeah. Yep. January Jones.
Only thing she was ever good in.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I feel about Zooey Deschanel and in The News Girl.
She was really good in The News Girl.
Yeah, because they just wrote her a character for her. Just like, hey, just do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
'Cause
I enjoyed her in that weird 500 Days movie.
I haven't seen that.
She's good. It doesn't. They got together. She's in it, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in it, and like 10 or 12 years after they did this little thing together where they like played a song, because she's a singer. I get he's a singer.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's something from that movie, and he goes, yeah, that didn't age too well, did it? Because he's like obsessed with her. And she's at the very beginning. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. And he just keeps,
And her
pressing the
name
issue.
is Summer, right?
Yes.
Do you get it?
No.
Me neither. I thought you.
Yeah,
got
he
it.
keeps pushing the issue in that special way that was acceptable at one point, and now people realize that shit ain't okay.
Oh, that's so cute and charming. No. That is like,
Turns out, no.
yeah. No.
Turns out, nah. Turns out, no.
Yeah, that's not romantic. That is harassment. Yeah.
It is very much harassment.
Speaking of harassment, would you like to play a song?
Yeah, but I don't know what to play.
A song.
Yeah, but I don't know what to play.
First base.
Third base.
Poop.
I don't know what to play. I don't know. I'm looking. Yeah, I didn't say it was a good story. It just,
How do you usually pick songs to play?
I'll pick a song and then play it. Thank you. That is my story.
Are you sticking to it?
No. It's how do I normally pick it? Because it's like something that I want to work on, or a new song that I want to play, or
And you're sure you don't want to play that one line of that song?
I don't, because I'll probably get it wrong. I don't even. Am I doing? That's what I'm doing, huh? This is
Yeah,
what's
I
happening?
guess so.
Nah, never mind. Because I don't remember the tune, so all I have is like the words, the line. So, and I'll not be doing
You could Shatner it.
I'll not shat it.
Okay.
I don't know that I planned on playing anything, so
You see Dune yet?
no. The girl really wants to see it.
She hasn't seen it yet either?
No, I'm the reason she hasn't seen it,
Oh.
because I haven't taken her to it yet.
Oh. Well, you should do that.
Yeah.
Just set aside 4 hours.
Yeah, that. I don't think it's gonna happen. No. Take your things and go over there. Just so. Who's gonna run? Who's gonna
Lovely.
Thank you.
So, what do you write first? The words or the lyrics?
Where do you get your ideas?
Who are your guys?
Your ideas? Who are you trying to sound like when you do that? When you do that, who are you trying to sound like? When you sound like that, who's it you're trying to do and failing to do? What is it? What is it that you've tried to accomplish?
What do you
ultimately
think
failed
this
at?
is?
Why do you keep doing this? Don't you think there's enough music in the world
Who the
already?
fuck do you
Why would
think you are?
Who do you think you are to try to make music in a world that already has more
There's
music
already
than anybody
music,
can
dipshit.
listen to? All of the music that could possibly be written,
We've
and all the
done the
words and all the order
chords
can all
already.
be done.
We've
They're all
done 'em.
done. All the notes are done.
Oh, is that
all
a
the
D
songs are
sus
done.
too?
Oh,
Get the
look
fuck
at you.
outta here.
Oh, did you change?
Whoop
Oh,
de
you changed to
frickin'
3/4 for a
do.
minute? Have you not seen all the people who can play music on YouTube?
So yeah, we should be critics.
That right there was the reason for this live stream. Every time I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. And then we do it, and something like that will happen. It's like, I'm glad I logged on.
Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like
There's like
Statler and Waldorf of
there's
of,
like
of
part
music.
it's part anger at others, and then part of it is self-anger.
Yeah.
You know, just
Realizing the futility of the whole thing, and it's like, but I'm not gonna stop.
I mean, I got
So
it.
you stop.
You quit it. You'd be less. There'd be less if you didn't do it.
Yeah. God. That's how I feel about a lot of y'all who write songs.
You know, I'm the
don't-
only person you're talking to right now, right?
Yeah, you're one of those people.
And one
But
of those
like
people.
you, Piper, Tilly.
Wait, no, you like them. This is a very confusing.
No, I don't. I put on a happy face. But they write too many dang songs, and I'm like, hey, now people are gonna expect me to, because I say I'm a songwriter. People are gonna expect me to write songs currently.
I think if it helps you, and it
No.
won't. I don't think John's written anything in a while.
He's written more recently than I have. I haven't written
Yeah.
anything since like the beginning of October.
You're on a different path, man. No, Kyla, I can't. I just don't. That's just a different wiring.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. She's like, I book the time, I sit in the chair, I write the song. That doesn't help me at all. You're just wired like that.
That's like how what's his dick?
Jason Isbell?
What's his tits? The guy who does the guy who does stuff out of marble, the David guy.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. And people were like, "Hey, how do you do stone stuff so good?" And he's like, "I just
like,
take away the stuff
I
that's
make you
not
stone
there."
stone. I make you stone go there,
Yeah.
and I have thingy here.
Right. There's a thing, and I just chip away at everything that's not the thing.
This
And it's
is the
like,
thing.
thanks, bud. Cool, good. So just do it then. It's like
That's like apparently Frank Robinson was a terrible manager because he's one of the all-time great players, and he couldn't understand why people couldn't do the things he did. It's like, here, just do it like me. And like that's not how the rest of us work.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying that I'm like some sort of like master guitarist or vocalist or whatever, but like one of the reasons I don't teach is because I would get too impatient. I'd just be like, just do the thing. Just play these 5 chords and that's the song. What's your fucking problem?
I could never do any of that stuff. And I thought it was because, I'm impatient or my knowledge is limited. And then it just came down to, and I had a couple of, it was suggested by a third party that when a friend of mine was going out of town, that I should take his rhythm section and fill in those shows. This person and I have very different skill sets. He's like a super high energy, great, like kind of rockabilly, early, like 50s rock and roll guy, good buddy of mine. But we don't do anything similarly at all. You're just not the same guy. And and apparently it was suggested, and the person who it was suggested to said, Chris doesn't do anything Chris doesn't want to do. I'm like, yeah, it's true. It just,
Yeah.
anytime they're like, go outside of your comfort zone. It's like, if I try that stuff, it's like, no, I didn't want to be here in the first place. So this was a terrible idea.
Right. Yeah. Like I you know, like I've joined a couple bands, one by accident, one on purpose. And that is theoretically outside of my comfort zone, but it is a thing I wanted to do.
Yeah, but you wanted to do
Exactly.
it. That's a different
So
thing
like,
entirely.
you know, but like when people ask me, like, you know, like I've gotten requests to play certain types of shows, like cover shows, you know, that is just like, and then learn all these pop songs, and it's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I did it once for a couple of months. I call it the winter of my discontent. It was
actually the summer.
No, it was the winter. It's the winter. It's the winter my mom died, but that's a separate conversation entirely. But I will say that was fine. The singer in there was somebody I had a bad history with, so. But I didn't. What it comes down to is there are people who want to, like, you know, it's like it's the experience, or you're going for the paycheck, or you're doing this, you're doing that, and I realized I don't wanna. You know, it's like, well, you'll become a better player and a better performer. I'm like, I don't know that that's what I want to get better at.
Yeah, and like, if those are the circumstances under which, like, you're not like fucking Batman.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to train under extreme conditions in the mountains in some
And
like
and also,
undisclosed stereotypical caricature of an Asian country.
yeah, and also personally my interest in playing music waxes and wanes. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a consistent thing. Like, I know people, including the aforementioned friend Maddie, who have just had a fucking fire for it since they got into it, and like, just what I fucking do, you know, right or wrong, pass or fail, whatever. I am doing this, and I really respect and appreciate that. And I'm not wired that way. Like, I like watching again the Springsteen thing. I'm watching him on this thing, and he's been playing some of these songs for 40 years, and he's still as into it as he ever was. And I'm like, I can't stay that interested in something from 2 months ago if I had to play it too many times.
Yeah.
Like, I have a, you know, and it comes down. It's kept moving back and back and back as far as what really interests me. Like, I thought I, you know, wanted to be in bands, and sometimes I liked it, and sometimes I didn't. Even when I had the best band I had together, I didn't always like it. I've genuinely never loved playing, like, in front of people. There are times I like it, and there are times I don't. I guess like any other job, except I don't want it to be my fucking job. You know, I want it to matter to me.
Right.
And
yeah,
and it keeps
because
moving.
it being a job can fucking ruin it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did
Yeah.
that for a while. The most we ever played was when we were here, like, the first couple of years. We were, like, gigging 2, 3, 4 times a month. Like, you know, and I was hosting things, and we were, like, doing okay with it. And I got really burnt out because it
Yeah.
turns out I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my interest is in, and I hate to say it because I don't feel this way. It'll come out differently than I mean it, but my interest is in the writing. You know?
Fucking nerd.
Finally, he says it. Yeah.
Yes, and then you
'Cause I don't-
ascend into the heavens.
And it's like, I know that I accidentally got all right at electric guitar. And it took me a long time. You know, it's like, there's a reason there are people who are great at 17, and then other people take forever, if at all.
Yeah.
Like, I was never that into playing, you know? And I got okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that much for me to get back into, like, electric playing shape if I'm going to do something.
Right.
Acoustic takes so much fucking work. And I got
because it hates your fingers. I
hates me
feel
so
bad
much.
that you don't like nylon string, because it just, to me, it's like it's the perfect blend
I
of
don't
like the smoothness of electric guitar, but like,
point.
the
I guess it just sounds too much like the giant like nylon strings we had in like high school.
yes, that's the first time I saw nylon string guitars was when they just had like, $30-$25
Yeah.
nylon string
And I
guitars that
got
they
him to
didn't
restring
care.
one for me in high school. That was
Yeah.
nice. No, I don't mind the sound. It just I don't enjoy playing
That's what I meant.
nylon string.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The actual
but
tactile thing,
it
which is like one of the reasons I like it, is because like they're so very light.
yeah
And so like if you're like I would take this guitar to New York all the time.
yeah
And it was easy to walk around with. It's like 2 pounds lighter than the maybe a pound lighter than the Taylor, which like
oh, that's nice.
yeah, when you're walking around in the super heated labyrinth in August, that is the tunnel system under New York. Yeah,
Yeah.
the less you have on you, the better. Yeah.
Yeah, quicker, easier to get away from the chuds.
Man, speaking of chuds, they have just like military, like just searching people's
Oh yeah.
bags now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the National Guard is camped out down there. Right?
Fucking insane. I have a show up there in a couple weeks.
That's with
Rebecca.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I liked her very much when I
Yeah,
heard
she's
her.
cool. I'd love to get her on here, but like, she wakes up at like 5.
In the morning.
Yeah. So she's very asleep by now.
Could we could do an earlier one? Like a 9
Yeah, I'm
o'clock
not
sometime.
opposed to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like doing that, or Kyla too, because of her those
Yeah,
time
because she's an
difference.
hour and a half ahead. Witch.
Fucking
Fucking
Canada.
witch.
Yeah, no, that all that stuff is weird to me. I had this run where I was playing more, and I was playing acoustic more, and I got decent at acoustic guitar, and I'm like, okay, finally, playing for 35 years.
Right.
It's like finally,
It's about time.
yeah, something came of this, and then I didn't play acoustic for like a few weeks or a month, and I came back to it, and I'm like, how far back am I now?
Yeah. With the steel string acoustic guitar, like it's so much more work. Like,
Yeah.
even if the action on it is great, like Martin, I think
Yeah.
has like some of the best, like, setup just out of the box, with the action being, close enough
Yeah.
to the fretboard where it's not a lot of work, but still those strings are thicker, and
So much thicker.
they
and so
give
much more work.
less, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And I have a decent acoustic. That J45 is a
Yeah.
decent acoustic. Like people who do it for a living use those.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is good. And when I'm willing to put the time in, it's good. But it's like every once in a while I'll get it out, and every once in a while does not get you any better at the instrument. But
yeah.
the juice isn't worth the squeeze, or whatever the term is. It's like I'm not really getting anything out of this.
Yeah, I've been making it a point to play the Taylor out more, because hopefully I'll, well, I know I will, because this is just how it goes. When it gets warmer, you get more shows. And so like, and plus like I'll be doing, I did this thing in Tacoma at the you've never been to Tacoma Park, have you?
I've been to the place. Yeah,
What place?
I've been there a bunch of times.
Oh,
I've
well,
just
there's
never
a
been to the
gazebo
Tac-
there.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that one.
I-
It was
I
across the
pl-
street from the pizza place.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We used to go to Mark's. I was so sad when I heard Mark's Station closed up.
What a bummer, man. Oh my god.
We did one of our electric things, the EP Sundowning. We recorded at Air Show. I don't think it's there anymore. It's called
Yeah, it
something
is.
different now. Is it still Air Show?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the mastering place, and then the studio is a different name now.
Yeah, back then it was all the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the Sundowning EP, and we got it mastered with the guy who had his Grammy out on the thing. He was pretty great. Actually, that's timed pretty well because I was getting ready to log off.
Oh,
So I get to hand it off to Telly
okay.
because
Who
it's
let you in here?
what are you doing?
Oh, hold on.
Hi, Telly.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, none taken.
It's if we have an off air call at some point, I'll let you know some of the stuff that's going on.
Okay.
Because there's always,
It's always something.
it turns out, if I can ever find that witch,
We're gonna have a terse conversation with that witch. Yeah.
I'll Telly, you won't believe me, but it's nothing personal. It's just a really long day,
And
Oh,
it's something personal.
and it's something personal.
Does it
Yeah.
involve your penis?
Hopefully.
I mean, we'll see how things go.
I mean, this could be us,
But yeah. Good luck with that. And on that night, bye guys.
Bye. Hey, Telly, how's it going?
Doing okay. So, just I also had a long day. I've been going down for naps lately, and I'm like, I'm going to set an alarm for an hour, and then like 3 hours go by. So,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
it is.
Yeah. I need at least like 2 hours clear for me to be comfortable doing a nap, even if I just want to take an hour-long nap, because I know I set 2 to 3 alarms because I know me. Yeah. So is that why you're just getting here now?
I'm just popping in, and then and I had dinner, and then I'm like looking at the music stuff, my editing, and all that, and I was like, oh, I guess I saw the email. I was like, it's like, yeah, I'll give them a break from me, and let them deal with whomever else is popping in. And then I looked at the YouTube thing. I was like, oh, it's just the two of them shooting the shit. Here I come. I'll come in and interject myself as I'm sometimes tend to do, and now's might be an I want to be like, now's an opportune time to hear a story, but also it's gonna be better when there's other people around to embarrass yourself with.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Honestly. If you'd like to hear it now, I'll tell it now. If you'd like like Rowan to be here to
Yes.
sully him and his honor, then I'm fine with that too.
Yeah,
I'm committed to telling the story. So,
I feel like it would be better, not necessarily more interesting, but better with other banter, other interjections, other reactions.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So what else is the latest and greatest?
Boy, you hear about Pluto?
Is it a planet again?
No, man.
Because it was a planet, then it wasn't a planet, then it was a planet.
Then it was an exoplanet.
So is it gone?
Yeah, it fucked off. It was tired of getting jerked around.
I mean, listen, with everything going wrong lately, just and everything, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Pluto's just like poof, and scientists were like, we can't explain it, what happened to Pluto, and then everybody's like, I told you Earth was flat, and then we just play it from there. No, but what happened with Pluto?
No, nothing. It's
No.
not a planet anymore. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking,
So
feel
I
like
guess no news is good news?
Yeah, I mean, they called it a dwarf planet. I'm like, that's not nice for dwarves.
It's fucked up, dude.
Now sometimes no news is good news. Although you know what they say: if something happens to me, it's not suicide. No.
So Epstein, how do we
No.
feel about that?
No, the Boeing guy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, if there's ever been a fucking corporate hit, like, come on, man.
No. Like,
Come the fuck on.
He was literally on the news, looking dead ass in the camera and being like, "If something happens to me, it's not suicide." And it's like, oh my goodness. oh, the vice president of Lukoil in Russia is dead. How many Russians have died? It was like, oops, I fell out of a building. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. There's a whole ass podcast about Russian oligarchs committing suicide, and just like cases from like the 2020s of just like, yeah, no, there's a purge going on, and like, yeah, people are clearing ranks, man.
Dude.
Like, and it's bold. Like, ever since that fucking journalist got sawed up, Jamal Khashoggi,
Yep.
ever since then, like big time money movers, corporations, and world powers, they're just like, oh, we can just do this?
Oh yeah.
All right, well, fuck it.
Oh no, fucking money rules all everything around us. I mean,
Yeah.
the Saudis and I mean, I was just watching John Oliver on Qatar and like the 2020, like the FIFA World Cup, and
Yeah.
I knew about that monstrosity before last week's
Right,
dinner,
right.
because like, that whole system over there has been in place for years and years and years.
The system being slavery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, institutionalized. I mean,
Yeah.
we have wage slavery.
We've
in
got
this country,
slavery.
too.
We've got wage slavery and like, prison labor slavery, but like
Yeah.
it's slavery with extra steps. Just like the president is a king with extra steps. It's just
Right. But no, our slavery sucks and everything, but it's not quite like that. Like that's
Yeah.
another level of But yeah, like the rest of the world, like oh, we bought FIFA. Oh, we bought the Golf U.S. Open or whatever. We bought blah blah blah. Like they just throw money at crap, and people's morals can be I said this a couple weeks ago. Like my morals can be compromised for the right dollar amount. So
Yeah. I mean,
get
that's the society that we live. Hey, man, we live in a society. Yeah, I'm the Joker.
They may neither, live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And sometimes it turns out Shyamalan twist, you're the villain the whole fucking time.
I mean,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. It's fun living through history, isn't it, Telly?
Not
Isn't that-
necessarily.
isn't that good?
I feel like, again, like that part of that conversation before, like, has it always been shit and we weren't aware? I think we've always been living. I mean, clearly we're always living through history, but like in the last like in our generation or my generation, it's like the amount of things that have happened that I've lived through. It's like 3 economical shit shows, 9/11. Dude, people used to be able to just like, bring their loved ones to the gate, hug them goodbye, and then you get on the plane and start smoking a cigarette.
Think about how many fucking like romantic comedies end with someone rushing to the gate who doesn't have a fucking ticket to find someone and stop them from being from boarding the plane, and then giving like a big speech. Like at least 3 romantic comedies, and one of them is, I think, like Not Another Teen Movie or something, which is a parody, but still, it came out in like 1998 or 2000 or something. So
Yeah, no, now we're getting our shoes checked. And
yeah,
this
I know.
is-
I know.
Yeah,
It's
my feet.
yeah.
smell.
I my sister is moving back to the East Coast. She moved to Sacramento. And she's packing all her shit, and I'm gonna go out there and help her. So I will have to deal with all of that shit, and I'm dreading it. I'm dreading it. Like, I'm looking forward to the In-N-Out burger, because that's just, I'm a red-blooded American. I love my good Christian In-N-Out burger. They have scripture on the
They do.
yeah. But I fucking hate air travel, man. I've been taking the train. I took the train to New York the last couple times I went, and
I wish Amtrak. We have the north south, and like I'm planning to take Amtrak up to. I take it to Philly often because I was like, oh, I can drive, 2 hours in my car, or I can take an hour-long train and not drive.
Right.
No brainer. New York, Boston, up there, but like when other areas, like you try to take it like south, like I took it to North Carolina one time, and it was like 9 hours on a train, and it's the exact same cost as it would be to fly. But I also don't like. I mean, hell, how many Boeing? Like literally, they just grounded the plane yesterday because
dude,
it fell off.
they're killing people rather than tightening their safety regulations.
I mean, Investments are
It's
doing
easier to
well.
just cap a dude than to just address a problem.
I mean,
It's the cost of doing business.
we're the product. I mean,
For
all these,
real.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Hell
Yeah,
no.
no,
Let's get.
I was thinking about taking a train across the country. It would be like 2 days. And
Does
so
it even? Does it go all the way?
yeah, you have to like you either take it down to San Antonio and then you switch rails to go or you go up into Chicago and then
Chicago.
yeah.
I didn't even know it went that far. I thought it was just like basically Chicago, and then that was kind of it. I didn't know that it went any further west than that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think there's just like two rails that go out that way.
And there's I guess both can be true. Is like people always bemoan like we don't have a train system, which is true, but then also people do underestimate like non-Americans underestimate just how massive this country is.
It's too fucking big. And like there could be an overhaul of the rail system and and just of transportation in general, which is much needed. But like the country's too big and nobody can fucking agree on shit. And so like you think we're going to be able to agree on like doing one of the biggest socialisms that will have ever been done in the history of any country ever? No, that's never going to fucking happen. That's never, you can explain it and lay it out clearly how it would improve people's lives. But someone would find a reason. I mean, obviously like the fossil fuel industry and the automotive industry would find reasons to undermine it, but like just the people at large would we can't agree on fucking shit. There's too many of us. It's too big a goddamn country to govern, especially with the system that we have, which is why it's not a representative democracy, because they don't
say that it is.
yeah,
But
they don't fucking care. It's just like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. We can have complete disparate schools of thought and even like existences, like reality. We have different realities now. There are like several different realities all bumping heads with each other. There's the reality where Trump is still the president. There's the reality where Joe Biden is cognitively like functional. And then, there's the reality where like JFK Jr. is still alive and shit.
dude, I heard recently Biden went on record saying if it was not Trump as the front runner, he wouldn't go for re-election. But it's like literally, it's another one of those situations where, unfortunately, he's the last line of the. Well, related, unrelated. Some people have made the argument to me that, Bernie wouldn't have stood a chance against Trump had he have been the nominee, and
That's fucking horseshit, man.
I can understand that perspective, but I just like listen. Like, we don't know if you try, because then
Right.
at least you had two people who were not like they were like. As much as I dislike Trump when it first started to stop, when it was it was always a joke, but when it started to get a little more serious, I was like, oh, here is someone who is not hiding behind a speechwriter and being authentic and saying what they want to say,
And
I
pointing out that
respected
there
it.
are fucking problems.
Yeah,
Because,
I
like,
respected it.
that Make America Great shit is like a fucking Hitler, Reagan, like classic fascist shit. But he was pointing out that there are systemic fucking problems, that there are people being left behind. Now, he was talking to racist ass white people, but like he was talking to poor people. That's really who he was talking to.
Yeah.
And like the underserved, the working class and stuff. And Hillary wasn't fucking talking to them.
Right.
Bernie was talking to them.
Yeah.
So like you get the two most popular grassroots candidates. Say what you want about the Russia shit and all the billionaires that also back Trump, and shit, but like he came out of fucking nowhere. Like he'd been running for president for 20 years, but like no, like you said, he was a fucking joke. And then shit got so bad, so fucking bad, that he was the only person, this unhinged fucking idiot, this reactionary just dog chasing a mail truck, just caught the right mail truck. He like he started chasing the right mail truck, and everybody was like, "Hey, that mail truck is let's go get him." And then it was, I guess,
Yeah, I just
Pizzagate. I don't know.
I don't even
I lost the
understand
thread there.
Pizzagate. But it's like, if Bernie had if been Bernie and Trump, again, hypothetical situation, Bernie and Trump running against each other and Trump wins, and we're like, oh, we shouldn't have run Bernie, we should have done Hillary, Hillary would have won, blah 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 blah. It's like, and I guess like you can't coulda woulda shoulda. It's just like this is the reality we're living in now.
Well, but like
However,
when she lost, they still blamed Bernie.
did they?
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah, it's so dumb. I mean, like they can't.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the Bernie votes.
The
were-
Bernie Bros, which wasn't even a thing.
It wasn't, but like. I
Like
think
there were
type
some
of-
loud online asshole people, but like most of the people who voted for Bernie in the primary ended up voting for Hillary Clinton in
Yeah,
2016.
I was not among them. I went third party. 'Cause I was
Yeah,
like,
I regret voting for her.
Same. But also like I don't think it would have made a difference had I whatever. So I just voted with my conscience.
No. I regret voting for her. I think you
Oh,
did
you
the right
voted for
thing,
her? Oh,
especially
yeah.
because like you live in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
So that Maryland's gonna go blue. Like I'm not, and I know nobody's watching, but I'm not telling anybody what to do. But I'm not fucking voting for Joe Biden.
Mm.
Fuck no, absolutely not. Oh, so you want Trump? No, I just
No.
that's just and. I've brought this up to people that like I'm how disillusioned I am with the Democratic Party like on a national level. Like I vote locally and like Jamie Raskin is my representative and he's been vocally like outspoken about issues that I give a fuck about and I've met him several times so like Jamie's my boy. I'm going to vote for him. But like, on the statewide stuff, Maryland's going to go blue, man. I mean, I'm not worried about that shit at all. And especially like our primary is what 2 weeks.
No idea, honestly.
Shit, I need to fucking
do
figure
vo-
that out. I think it's
do
the
vote
first week of
locally.
April.
I try to vote locally when I can. As much as I
Yeah,
can.
me too. That's what's important.
I mean, it was when they did the everyone came out for the should we legalize marijuana, and of course that was a big turnout. And every time I see it, it's like, hey, like, bill, like 25 points, blah blah blah. Should we give more taxpayer dollars to city schools? And I'm like, no, they spend enough money. They have enough. Like, I see how money gets misappropriated, and it's not even just at the school level, but just like everywhere. Like, I do tend to fall under the socially liberal, fiscally conservative umbrella, with the caveat that socially conservative in the sense of like, can we not be blowing money? Not so much in the I don't want to give money to the right causes. Like I think we should have better healthcare system and opportunities for those who are in need. Help, social services, those kind of things. But could I not be spending 40% of my paycheck on a military budget, please?
Well, that was where I was about to go. Is like I mean, yeah, a lot of city funds, especially like in Baltimore or like in DC and in like bigger metropolitan areas, a lot of that stuff can just like slip through the cracks and get misappropriated. But so much money, I know in Montgomery County, so much money goes to the cops and goes to like development contracts and stuff like that. And like, I don't know if have you heard of the Purple Line? It's,
I have.
okay.
But I have to kind of like.
Well, I'll give you a quick thing. When they were building the Red Line, they didn't want the poors to be able to get from Langley
yeah.
Park to Bethesda. So they made the Red Line the most circuitous fucking subway line in history. So it goes like from like Glenmont to Wheaton down to Silver Spring into DC up into Bethesda and then up to Rockville. And there's no way to get from there on the metro, even though those are two of the most densely populated, like Rockville and Silver Spring, two of the most densely populated areas in Montgomery County. So the Purple Line is to basically like create transit for that. Now that now that they're like, oh right, we can get money from poor people too. I guess we're fine with getting them access to our special place. Anyway. The Purple Line started like they started having meetings about it in like 2002 or something. They finally decided on a route for it in like 2005, and then they got like all their permits like 2009, something like that. And they haven't laid any track for it yet. Traffic's been fucked all around Montgomery County. They've they've demolished low income housing, and like this giant mega mart that was like a hub of commerce for that area. They just fucking out of there. Yeah, they haven't done shit for like 16 years.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Baltimore, you know, they've got the light.
Something's buzzing. Are you touching a cable or something? Oh. Yeah. That's fine now. Yeah.
Might be my XLR. Oh, hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Are we doing okay? Okay. I mean, Baltimore had like they've got the north-south that runs from Hunt Valley, like Owings Mills area down to BWI. But they've been like, well, hey, can we get east to west? And that has been in limbo forever. The road to nowhere, of course. You know, that exists. Old Town Mall being decrepit, you know, and it's like, it's odd to me. But also in the same breath, like if you go like around the waterfront, like Canton to Fells to Fed Hill to like that, it's all been built up, and more. I think the thing that you were talking about, the purple line that's jarring to me was every time I take the light rail to Timonium to go grocery shopping now, like you see in Timonium like these you know, the NIMBYism. It's like no apartments, no compromise, no apartments, no compromise. You know, because they think, oh, yeah, the poors are going to bring crime with them. And, you know, it's not, honestly, like, I don't think that, it's not completely unfounded, but also we have, you know what, though, let me backpedal for a second. You know, I've heard that we have enough vacant housing in this country to house everyone. It's a matter of like,
Yeah.
And the 4-on-1s they're building everywhere, like in Towson, like they've built so much condensed housing, and I'm like, where are all these people coming from? So I don't even think they're filling all of that. So I guess I am kind of like, well, I don't necessarily see the need to build a bunch of mixed use stuff in Timonium if like Towson has all this stuff that's been built up, if Baltimore City has all this stuff that's being built together, like where, you know, the offices that we're trying, you know, thinking about turning into that, they're going to do the Harbor Place development, they're going to build, like, where are all these people coming from? Do they actually live in these units, or what's the deal?
I don't know if it's like a Field of Dreams kind of fucking thing where they just think if you build it, they will come. I live in Silver Spring and I see the same shit. There's these giant, unaffordable things that they're building, you know, like 20-story apartments or condos, and it's just like, who's this for?
Right.
Who's in the so? And then I hear that like these buildings are half empty, and it's or half full. But like, you know, and then we talk about the homelessness problem and like, you know, and the crime problem. And it's like, all this shit is fucking connected. It's like, you know, if people had somewhere to live and they didn't have to worry about being able to afford having food and a roof over their head, they probably wouldn't resort to illegal means to get money.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
crime is usually an act of desperation.
Usually. Yeah.
Yeah. Like most of the crime that affects most of the people in this country is actually an act of greed, and it's perpetrated by like corporations and shit. But, you know,
Yeah,
we
or
don't
just,
we don't care.
You know, individual criminals. I think some of it's driven by just being a complete piece of shit. Like,
Yeah, there are like psychopaths and sociopaths and you know, and sadists and stuff out there, but like most crime, which is like theft, that's right. Okay, let's look it up. I'm going to use my little machine to look it up.
I guess I'm just thinking about my own personal experience, like somebody breaking into my car, tearing off my steering column while a wheel lock was on it, so they can't drive it anywhere. Like I'm trying to think like that, what was that driven by? Perhaps a need to practice how to hotwire a Hyundai,
Yeah.
so that you can do it to someone else, which I suppose is um, a result of perhaps socioeconomic difficulties, but also I am totally aware that like they're like, oh, I'm gonna steal this for fun and let's go for a joyride, and like I
Yeah,
guess
there is that.
people I shouldn't have have conjecture, speculation on other people's motives, but it's just people are just assholes.
That is true. Yeah. No argument here.
Yeah,
They're little shits.
seriously.
Yeah.
So we're looking up crime
And
stats
some,
like
I'm
that.
sure, are very fine people.
Yes, and they're smart people, and they don't come with drugs hidden in their assholes.
Well, why not?
It hurts.
Oh, well, I don't know. Depends. What kind of spiky drugs? You got like really like sharp drugs that you're putting up there?
I mean, it's
Are you
called
just putting like a needle full of heroin over here?
I mean, it's called shatter. What do you expect it to feel
Oof, oof, yikes, 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 yikes,
like? I
yikes.
still don't even understand what that is.
Oh, I've, I think I know.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Oh boy.
Dude, did you see the ChatGPT robot?
No. Was it just a guy dressed up in spandex like that Elon Musk robot?
No, it's hold. Let me close my editing software here so I can let me
What
just
what
I'll tell you.
editing software do you use, Telly?
I use Reaper.
But I
And
fear that. Should I
do
not
too.
fear the Reaper, Telly?
Oh no. Um, Now, are you able?
Come on, baby.
This might be an interesting attempt for you here. So I'm going to put this in the chat. Are you able to, like, oh hey, I'm going to show YouTube video on my show and like share your screen and like do it? Because like that might be interesting for the no people that are watching, or you could kind of just
I
check
mean,
it
I
out on your own.
could, but I'm not just gonna just do it.
Click a link. Yeah, I mean it could be Smurf porn for all you know.
Well, I doubt that would be on YouTube.
Dude, I saw the amount of pedophilia, like hidden pedophilia videos on YouTube. There was a whole video essay on that at one point. Like, short version is it's a droid, like a physical robot, and the guy's talking to it, asking it questions, and he's like, "What do you see right now?" And I don't even know what the hell to call it. It's gonna go with droid, I guess. Says, "Well, I see you, and I see dishes and on the table, and I see your hands on the table, blah blah blah." Guy's like, hey, and again, like I'm just summarizing it. You're gonna see it later, I hope. He's like, "Hand me something to eat." So the robot hands him an apple, and then the guy takes up a basket and he puts it in front of the robot. He says, "Explain to me why you handed me that while you're putting this trash in the basket." And it fucking does it. It rationalizes its thinking while it's doing a task. Um, so we're getting the rate with which AI is growing is exponential, and it's getting between them and Boston Dynamics. Like it's getting. Have you? I'm assuming you've seen some Black Mirror, yes?
Yeah, I've seen it all.
Okay, so the one with like the robot, the little robot murder dogs,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
the one that Jodie Foster directed. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, God, that reminded me. The Christmas episode with John Hamm is
it's
fucking
great.
amazing.
It's great. Yeah.
I need to watch the latest season, but big fan. But yeah, like those robot dogs, like those are actually in production.
No, they're
Big
using
fan.
the police are about to actually start using them. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Shocker. I
right?
know. Yeah, I don't think this AI thing in this version of it. I think it's got quite a ways to go before it is actually AI. It's not AI. It's not intelligence. It's generative algorithmic
Yeah.
procedures, implemented in different ways, but like I'll watch that video, but I'm almost certain that it is an Elon Musk style sort of thing. I don't think it's a guy in a suit like his thing was, but I think it was like probably just pre-programmed
Oh yeah.
actions and stuff.
Sure.
And there was like a script that they were working with. But like, yeah, I mean, it the algorithm is changing and growing, but that's just because that's how those sorts of algorithms work. But it's not like it doesn't think.
No.
It's just pulling from reference points, and it just has access to the most information that anyone has had access to ever in the history of the planet, and then it can access it faster than we can. So then, but like
Well, yeah. I mean,
but I do think that like there are applications for it, and that it should be used to supplant human labor in certain like realms, like like jobs that are too dangerous for people, or too taxing for them, that we don't like, archaic jobs that we don't need to be doing. But then like, since we live in this really super fun capitalist system, the instead of that money that is being like saved, it won't be used to supplement. Instead of it being used to supplement like the people who they're either like putting out of a job or whatever, they're just gonna use that to line the pockets of the people who automate. And then, I mean, that's the way the system is built, so it's the way it is. That's just the way it goes. That's all I know.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, them's the way the cookies crumble. I mean, maybe it can figure out how to build an airplane that doesn't fucking crash.
It's easier to just murder a person in their car.
Like, I'm just glad. Like, can you imagine how fucked up it would be if like we actually figured out teleportation? How many lives would be lost by like idiots like fucking that up? Or flying cars. Flying cars should never happen.
No, it would have to be fully automated. That's the only way it would work. Like if humans had, like any sort of control in that, there would be crashes all the fucking time. It would be chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no way it would work.
Yeah,
Absolutely
no.
not.
It won't. Yeah.
Won't
Like
fail to
there's,
begin with.
it's very idealistic, a lot of these things. Like, I will posit that we do live in the future. I think since 9/11 we've been living in the future. It's just not like a Jetsons sort of thing.
Right.
And a lot of these like Gen X guys who are in charge of these tech companies are chasing this like Jetson style future, flying cars, self-driving cars, AI, robot butler stuff, where like it's a sassy droid like in Star Wars or whatever the fuck. We're not there. Like the all of these technological boons will be used like in the pursuit of capital or porn, I guess.
Oh, and that leads us to Texas. Um,
Hmm?
so Texas just maybe I'm just on Reddit too frequently, and I can't get off it. So Texas passed that law where in order to see pornography, people need to validate their identification or their driver's license or whatever. So Pornhub literally just shut down in Texas. Like you cannot get to Pornhub in Texas. Period. Like they pulled out. Yeah, but no, like literally. And so like because they were about to get sued by Texas for like not age verification, blah blah. So like, well, just screw it, we're out. Like, that's the thing is, it's like sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze, and this is how you know. I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, that's related to the whole TikTok thing as well. Like,
That shit is fucking nuts, man.
I'm torn. I'm down the middle because it's like it blows my mind that like, you know, we can't get things through the House of Representatives. It would be like common sense things like
Right, like fucking
let's
healthcare
right,
or like gun legislation. It's like, hey, you
right.
can't you can't buy you can't buy an RPG.
You know, even like federally legalizing it, anything like that. You
Right,
can't ban
exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
But then TikTok, like, they're just like, oh, let's get this in. Biden's like, I'll sign it.
Bipartisan. Fucking like 350 people in the House of
But
Representatives.
it's also And again, me playing both sides, like there is some truth to the fact that like China can access that like India had it banned in 2021. They've all continued to live their lives and be okay, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
sure, but like so can American social media companies. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're just acting. So what's the difference between uh I mean, you see, like, what would they use it for that you wouldn't use it for as the
See,
American government?
and that's what I don't know. I think it's just more. I think to my way of thinking, it's probably more of a. I don't want you to have it at all. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but I just don't want you to have it. It's mine.
Well, there, and I mean, now we're just getting into fucking conspiracy theory shit. Like, but you know, the shit that's been popping off in Gaza, a lot of the information among the youth has been spread like through TikTok. Like, there have been people like on the ground there just reporting what the fuck is going on, and like, you know, they're posting it to TikTok, and then that's how a lot of people are getting their, you know, their information, because like Twitter's fucking busted as shit, and you know, Facebook's where all the olds are, so
Hey,
I stopped using Facebook in like 2018. Facebook and Twitter, I just do
I
Instagram now because the pictures, it's fun.
20. So for some reason, my Twitter account is on permanent read only, and I have no idea why. Somebody got into my account, and you know, I hadn't tweeted anything since 2018. And I went to log, it's like, you're on permanent blah, blah, blah. And I sent them an email being like, here's like the emails I got, all of the unrecognized account. And of course, I'm dealing with an algorithm. I fucking hate talking to a computer, sorry.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, my account was locked, same reason. I was like, you have 30 days to repeal before it's permanently disabled. So I repealed. 30 days passed with not speaking to a human being. A decade plus worth of photos of people that I've lost that'll never get back, gone. Like the digital footprints and like our digital ghosts we leave behind, like there are pictures there that I will never see again that were only there, and it's fucked. But so I didn't miss Facebook when I was gone. What I missed was access to a network of people and like marketplace pretty much for selling and buying gear. That was it.
Yeah.
So I made my way back on there, and like, you know, but I try not to use it terribly much. So but yeah, social media is a
Yeah, that's another thing about this whole TikTok thing is like there is an argument to be made that it is bad. Like, you know, that it has like eroded people's attention span and ability to communicate with one another and stuff like that. Like, you know, they're for as social as it is as a medium, social media is very isolationist, and like it you could argue that like it's detrimental to society for a lot of reasons, but like that you can't like just randomly, because now it's inconvenient for you, act like you give a fuck about people's fucking privacy. And then they're like, hey, no, and we don't want to publicize TikTok. We don't want to make it like a publicly, you know, like a public utility or anything like that. No, no, no. What we want to do is privatize it with people that we like over
yeah.
here. We want Steve Mnuchin to buy it. Did you hear that? You
I
remember Steve
did.
Mnuchin?
I don't remember, but I think I've heard about this recently. I mean,
He was the Treasury Secretary under Trump. He also produced hit movie Suicide Squad, not The Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad with Jared
don't know
Leto.
don't know the difference. I mean, that was the one where Jared Leto was the Joker, right?
He was the
So
Joker. We live in a society.
yeah, I don't follow.
Lucky
Too
you.
there. You know, you know, same thing as like, oh, you know what the real travesty of tonight is that I've seen the Death Note movie, but not the anime.
Wait, what?
So you familiar with Death Note?
Yeah, the Willem Dafoe one. You saw that?
I saw the movie. It was on Netflix, but
The American one.
yeah. Let's see.
No, I know what
Because
you're talking about.
I was like, oh, you know, oh, Death Note, okay, and then like Is William Dafoe in it?
Yeah, he's the Shinigami.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
The what? The Shittigami?
Oh, they probably what do they call the big ugly guy who comes with the Death Note
Oh,
notebook?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, that's a Shinigami. That's in the Japanese. That is a Shinigami. Hi.
I mean, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes of the anime, but like that's
It's good.
there, and you know that's the.
It's fine. It's half good, and then half okay, and then I like the way it ends just because of how, yeah, people get their comeuppance, and it's pretty nice. Yeah. But no, there's better anime. I'm always hesitant to jump into an adaptation of like an anime or a manga, like a live action thing, especially if it's like Americans doing it, because they tend to miss the mark and not know why people like the thing. They're just like, hey, let's do these characters with these names. Let's get the costumes approximately right. And then let's get M. Night Shyamalan to direct the the live action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Let's do that. That seems like a good idea.
I mean, I've heard, I saw the headline for an interview lately because again, I'm fucking lazy. You know, they're making a Fallout live action.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, listen, like if you, not necessarily, it's kind of paraphrasing, is like, you can't necessarily cater to the fans of that because you'll never be able to fully please them.
Yeah.
Same thing, like The Witcher.
Yep.
You know, anything that's like, oh, the book was better, you know, and honestly, you know, for most of the time it is. There are times where like the live adaptation is superior or more successful, but generally speaking, you know, the text is you know, it's going to be a better situation. Be a Fallout, like there's no winning that. Like
Have you played those games?
I have. I've played, you know, everything beyond 3. Friend of mine swears by the online one. I never gave it a fair shake just because I know the launch was trash. 1 and 2 are likely too difficult for me.
I've heard they are some of the best games.
Same.
Yeah.
I think story wise,
Yeah.
especially if you're like into the lore of it, which I am, like not deep dive, but like, you know, there's continuity, which I think is a lost art in most medium.
Yeah, and then or exercise to a fault, i.e., the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like, you know, at first it was kind of like a novel, sort of nuanced thing, and now it's just like you have to have watched. I mean, you don't have to have watched, but like, you know, I hope you've seen 3 TV shows and 3 movies.
Right. To tile this together and
Yeah.
how they're related. Like, no, I can't.
And then it's never worth the effort, or at least it hasn't been in a while.
If anything, and I forget what they're called when they take you know, the full story arc of a comic book and they put it into one. Like, I know there's a giant coffee table book of like just Civil War.
Yeah, and then they just put it in a movie. Yeah.
Right. But I can't remember what like those compendiums are called. But like, if anything, I would probably rather like read that. Like, give me the big Civil War book so I can look and see like the story arc and all that.
See,
like,
now
that's better.
it's interesting that you chose that one specifically, because I think the movie does a better job handling it.
Don't know anything about I just know that that's something. I know that that's something that exists.
Yeah, yeah, but like you're right with the source material's usually better than the adaptation. But like the Marvel Cinematic Universe in particular has adapted a couple stories where I think they work better than they do in the comic. I think that the Civil War story is so all over the place and it spans so many different books. Like, it's cool that they have a compendium, because fuck, man, it's like it was a Spider-Man book, it was an Iron Man book, it was a Captain America book, it was an X-Men book, it was an Avengers book. It was like all these disparate characters, because it's just the biggest fucking crossover, one of the biggest crossovers in comic book history. Whereas in the MCU, they only had, like 12 superhero characters, and it surrounded a similar thing, but like they didn't have to kick it down the road for like months at a time, and plus, like, making Robert Downey Jr. the bad guy was a great idea because boy, Tony Stark is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's a big old gaping asshole.
Just
Yeah.
the kind of asshole that I like.
Mm-hmm. Just a big old
Delicious.
prolapse, just a windsock, just
God,
flopping
windsock.
around.
Man, if only Chris were here to see me pantomime licking an asshole.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought you were blowing it. Oh, okay. All right.
Um, you know, we sit here and like we're like, oh no, coronavirus. Meanwhile, how many of us are eating ass?
Hey, man. You can't get corona from eating ass.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
I, that's not how I got it.
I mean, it's still out there. I've,
Yeah.
you know,
Don't
most
call
of
it a
us-
comeback. It's been here for years. 4 years. Literally, 4 years.
I mean, I know I still don't mask up very often, if at all, lately. Just if it's, but I will say that like now, like once I get ill, like when I get sick, I'll definitely mask up. Honestly, I don't even know why. Like, before Corona, I was like, man, why are all these Asian people like wearing masks out in public? Blah,
Right?
blah, blah. It's like I was like, oh, to stop other people from getting sick.
Right.
That
Because
makes
they're
a lot of
because they're
sense.
polite, because they have a sense of community.
Dude,
We
not
are
in this
so like,
country.
I love individualism and live your truth and chase your bliss, but like we do not function very well as a society. And like being like that little tiny baby lockdown that we had where now the right is like, they took away our freedom by trying to not get our grandparents dead. Let's storm the Capitol.
Say your name, Ashley Bobbitt.
Oh man, these people are wild as shit. But I think that did not help our sense of community, as far as like, a shared goal of striving for something better and help your fellow man up. But it's all this bootstrap shit. It's fuck you, got mine.
Yeah, which I can get on board with to a certain extent, but not at the cost of other people.
Right. And I mean, yeah. Like, it's all trickle down fucking shit, but the trickle down isn't money, it's just suffering, and and that's really it. Yeah, yeah. It was laid quite bare. The stark like conditions of our union. But hey, the economy's doing great because the stock market's
Yeah, I try not to pay attention to that. As long as I have a
something.
roof over my head and food in my belly, I don't. I'd love to make more money and have more money, but ultimately I'm okay and comfortable, and so I try not to like. But other people, surely twofold, could have a lot of problems solved by more money, and then others like, could you pump the fucking brakes a little bit? I can't. $1 billion. Like I still can't wrap my head around that.
What do you need that for? What are you gonna do with that? Besides like buy power and influence, and then like, well, then where's free speech? Is that what the free market means to these people? I mean, it's like I'm free to manipulate the market. That's
just-
the free market.
I honestly don't understand. Like the Koch brothers, like what do they get out of spending so much money on politicians? Like are they just
I don't
trying to-
know. They could just buy a fucking island and retire, and just like fucking wait out climate change.
I wonder like who took over Epstein's island and is now trafficking the children that like, because like the Democrats murder babies and sacrifice their blood to the demigods of democracy, and so I'm wondering who took over that job. Hillary?
You mean Hitlery?
Oh, Joe Rogan. There's your callback.
Oh shit.
I mean, I just can't with my right wing friends. Like, it's just yeah, I can't. I don't understand how people are going to like. It's very likely we're going to have like a someone who has been found guilty or liable for libel or has like sex crime things in court or whatever, and like a friend of a friend is Stormy Daniels. You know what I mean? It's like that whole thing, and they're literally going to elect. Saw a tweet. What's her name? Bobert being like, "You need to keep drag queens out of libraries." And then, we need to put God in schools and keep drag queens out of schools. And someone's like, you need to masturbate your boyfriend in public, not in a theater. Like, don't sit here and preach morals to people when your son is being caught, like, doing, like, you know, breaking and entering rings and being arrested for DUI or whatever it
Dude,
is.
these people are talking about like they're the party allegedly of like the pedophile hunters and stopping grooming children. You know their longest serving Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, is a convicted fucking pedophile spending his goddamn life in jail.
I did not.
He was doing pedo shit while being Speaker of the House. The reason he wasn't Speaker of the House anymore is because now he's in jail and shit.
Dude.
Yeah. But they're the people who are going to stop it. Jim Jordan fucking covered up for a wrestling coach who was touching on boys.
Right.
But like they're the party of stop. Matt Gaetz did a human trafficking with a underage girl
That
across
I
state
can't.
lines.
And they still keep him on. Like, that's what I don't
Yeah.
get is like,
They don't
I just,
stand for anything. They just want to they want to consolidate power and then keep it so that they can kick the can down the road and keep having power. That's
I
it.
mean, I think
They're-
for some of them, they just say whatever they think their constituents want to hear.
That's
whatever
exactly
racist
it.
bullshit,
Trump
just
doesn't
like,
believe any of the shit he's saying.
oh my God.
The
I
only
can't
thing
believe
I
it.
know for sure that he actually like said that is true is that he wants to fuck his daughter.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing that I think he's said that is, I mean, like I know he believes all that racist shit, but like a thing that's inherently true is that like, yeah, he wants to bone down with Ivanka. Yeah.
She's not even like,
Nope, she looks like him.
yeah, I mean, a 6 or a 7 maybe. I mean,
Uh.
you know, she could
I mean,
maybe-
it's good plastic surgery. I'll give her that. Like
Yeah, I
it's
didn't even
it's
notice
it's
those
it's
things.
good. She didn't see the Kardashians people because they all look like a Disney like Lion King animal. I can't think of the specific animal that they look like, but like a sort of they got sort of like a Chip and Dale sort of thing going on. All those Kardashians, they've got like the like their cheeks are like balls, and then they've got too much collagen on their lips. It's kind of like amphibious, but also like a prairie mammal.
I can't understand people.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think too much money can be a bad thing. I think that money poisoning thing is like real. That's real shit.
Yeah.
Not to say. I mean, I just think because your hierarchy of needs fucking changes so much once you have so much money that you don't have to worry about. Okay, am I going to be able to afford rent? Am I going to be able to afford to keep the lights on? Am I going to be able to afford food? Am I going to be able to afford X, Y, Z? Gas, such and such and such. Once you're beyond that, then there's a level of comfort but you're still kind of connected to people. And then once I forget what the number was. Once you have above, I forget, but this was like 10 years ago, so it's probably changed. Let's just say like once you have over like $1 million, then your hierarchy of needs changes. And then that changes you. That changes how you see the world because of the things, what is important to you? What necessitates your what motivates you? And if it ain't hunger or any sort of desperation, then like no, the idle hands are the devil's playthings, I guess, is the moral of the story. And that was my TED Talk.
This my literally hands down favorite TED Talk is 2 minutes. It's you're tying your shoes the wrong way, and it's amazing because I tie my shoes this new way and it really is superior. So TED Talks are good for something. It's a lot of times. There's some famous ones in education that are really well done, but generally it's like the same ones get put on repeat. Sadly,
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've maybe seen like 2. I get it. People know a thing about a thing and they talk about the thing for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes?
It varies. You pretty much get as much time as you know. But most of them are between 15 and 30 of people just kind of.
And then there's TEDx talks, and those are less prestigious.
They are, because anybody and their mom can just be like, I've got something I want to talk about pro wrestling. I'm like, okay, here you go.
It's like an open mic.
It is. It's totally an open mic. It's like an amateur hour, but like, but they also, that's not to discredit, these people, I'm sure, have like something important they want to say, or they at least want to get through the assignment.
Yeah. And I'm sure some of them are good, but,
they're not sending
they're not sending their best. Oh, fuck.
Fucking
All right. Well, you want to call it?
Yeah, I'm dozing.
Yeah, man. All right.
Well,
I was going to try to squeeze a song out of you, but
no.
we've already done an Avengers Infinity War length show, so the gods have been appeased. So I guess we can call it. So
All right, I will see you Monday, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll be there. Apparently, we're doing the anniversary, not this Monday, but next Monday. So
I was like
25th. I thought it was going to be the next week, but I guess I got I'm outranked.
I wish, maybe not wish, but I think it would be interesting or humorous or whatever that, like, because it seems like when Rob is like, hey, I'm coming in for this one, then like people come out of the woodworks, like, oh, it's Rob. I feel like we should just like tell those people, fuck off. If you haven't been here week to week, like, you're just coming in to like, hey, listen, you know what though? I almost ran my mouth, but maybe if the recording stops, it's just like, there's, because I love everybody, but it's like some people I haven't seen unless Rob is seen, and I'm like, man, like, that makes me feel a certain
Fair weather
type of way.
friends, champagne friends.
Champagne, but friends with Rob and everything, but just like, there's no reason for them to show up to this week after week, which honestly for some of them I get it, there isn't, but like,
Yeah.
I
I mean, but it is like, oh, you have to come down to your basement? Oh, I can't do it. But, not everybody's, got a free Monday evening. So
Right.
I get it.
right.
But yeah, fuck those people. Okay,
Fuck
bye,
them.
everybody. Bye. Goodbye, audience.